guess I'm gonna start it there. This is number 28 of Desynced.
Hi.
Cool. Had a whole thing I was planning to start with, but that got derailed pretty quick.
No, wait. Let's rewind it. Okay, Fred, go.
No, fuck you.
Wow, you got
worried.
a genuine fuck you.
I ain't
Not
that
one of those
worried.
half-assed ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, Daniel's playing a game because we're idiots and we need to be able to look at things.
We're trying something.
So-
We're testing the waters.
Look at the pretty colors.
We're practicing.
I want to do this just so I can laugh at Daniel's gameplay because he claims he's good.
Steve's got a new setup worked out. It works
so
out really
mean.
well. I'm quite happy with it. I walk into the office and it makes me so happy. My foot's itchy.
So, who here owns Darksiders 1 and 2?
Steve does.
I don't.
You actually have both of them?
Yeah.
I really didn't think you would.
I actually might have sold them at some point, so I might not own them anymore.
So you don't have the new ones?
The new copies.
The remasters, yeah.
No, I do not have the remasters.
Steve has the remasters.
Now is a great time to pick it up, by the way.
$20 for both of them on Xbox Live. They have the Fury collection. It's $20 right now. I don't know how much longer it's going to be. $20.
Till
I
August
don't
1st.
know if I have
August
20
1st?
bucks.
You have plenty of time. It's till August
okay.
1st. But yeah, that's a great deal because the first game on its own is $20. So you basically
25.
it's 20.
Is it
I was
20?
looking at it yesterday.
Okay.
It's $20 for the first one, 30 for the second one. So you essentially get $30.
30. You
for
basically
free,
get the second
or
one for free.
$30 off.
Okay.
So-
Which, given that I probably will never beat the second one, is kind of a moot point. But
We're gonna get there because I have issues. But that's for my therapist too.
I don't think I'd ever play them, so I'm not gonna buy them.
You don't like Legend of Zeldas.
I mean,
Yeah, they're
I
not.
get bored and lost pretty quick.
And this is a game you'll get lost in pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm good.
I don't know if you get bored, but you would definitely get lost.
I don't
If
know.
I get lost, I get bored.
Yeah,
I don't
it's the
think
same.
you get lost because it's all. It's. I didn't even get lost.
That's saying something.
I mean, I don't think you'd get lost. You'd get bored, but not lost.
How do you get bored when you were literally war with a giant flaming sword?
Go here, kill this person. Go here, kill this person. Go here, kill this person.
You're war.
That's war. We're gonna take this hill and we're gonna kill these peoples. We're gonna go there and we're gonna kill them.
I mean, I got to the third dungeon. Big ass air quotes around dungeon. What was it? The giant sandworm when you get your horse?
Yeah,
I got bored halfway through that.
that dungeon was not great. I remember not liking it, but that was also just one dungeon.
I was excited when you see the first, fake flaming horse. I was like, all right, I think I might be getting my horse. And then the guy shows up with Ruin, and it's like, hey, there's my horse. I was excited about that.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a good payoff because that's the dungeon where you have to avoid stepping on the sand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a slow one just because of it.
Yeah.
See, I just got a flashback to people trying to play Skyrim on PS3, and they had to avoid stepping in puddles. That's what I thought. Like, don't step on the sand.
Don't step on the lava!
It's
I was
the great
really
worm
wondering.
bug.
I was really wondering what that face was. Daniel was sitting there making this weird ass face.
That's exactly where my mind went to. I'm like, oh, that's pretty funny.
You here in your PC Master Race.
So
I can't help it.
I really enjoyed the first Darksiders. There were a couple of parts where I got bored and I just pushed through because it's the perfectionist in me was go get the new item, go back and get everything that I missed.
That does make it a very boring game.
The problem was that I just had to keep it in my mind, just push forward. Get everything when you beat the game. Get everything when you beat the game. So I got all the way to the last part of the game. I got all the abyssal armor, so I have the best badass armor. I got the super sword. Everything I need. I'm just missing a handful of life shards and wrath shards.
That's really the best way to do collectibles in most games, is just wait until you have everything to go and get what you need, and then just go do it. Go do it all at once.
It's actually, I know we're kind of going back a week here, but it's actually something that I really enjoyed in Prey is that theirs was kind of the opposite. There were multiple points in the game where they just opened stuff up, and it didn't matter how far you were in the game. You could then go get the new collectibles and the new gear and abilities. You didn't have to wait to go back and get them.
Yeah.
Well, you did if you didn't have the right abilities, or like hacking, I remember, was a big barrier right at the beginning. There's
True.
a lot you couldn't do without it.
There's stuff that you could have to go back to, but you had the ability to be able to do it right then and there. Like, for me, I took most of the perks that were to open up the world very early on. So, anytime I got to a place, I immediately could get all the collectibles there.
Right.
But that's what I meant. It's more, if you're that kind of person, you don't have to backtrack. You can set yourself up to do it as you go through.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
I just, there towards halfway, where that point where I was just pushed through, I focused on one collectible, the Abyssal Armor. That's all I focused on. And it made it a little bit more enjoyable.
Well, it also was a very useful set of armor
Yeah.
going into the end game.
Oh, God, yes. I took quarter damage, and then when you turn on the Stone Skin ability, I almost took no damage. It was fantastic. I want to talk a little bit about the end.
Okay.
At the very end of it,
Wait,
War...
the beginning of the end or the end of the end?
Or the end of the beginning.
Yeah, I'm getting confused now.
I mean, it is a game
Daniel's
about
lost,
the
he's
end
bored.
time, so...
Go on.
Should we also put a tag here, spoilers for an ancient game?
Who gives a fuck? So, you kill Abaddon, which, one, I've already had a problem with, because Abaddon was not an angel, he was a demon, but that's neither here nor there.
Aren't demons just fallen angels?
No, actually. The only fallen angel is Lucifer.
Oh, okay. I'm down with that.
I'm down with that.
So you see the other three horsemen falling from the sky after you kill Abaddon as the dragon, and then you kill him as an angel. The seventh seal is broken. War comes back to life, and you see the other three horsemen fall. Is that like the very, very end of everything? Or because what I'm kind of figuring out is that Darksiders 2 takes place during that big missing part when War was taken.
Darksiders 2 starts just after War kickstarted the apocalypse.
So right after you fought Straga for the first time and go back to the council.
Because you're basically trying to free War. At least
Yeah,
that's
he's
the
trying
story
to-
that they explained.
The way, yeah, because I'm playing 2 right now, which I'll get into what's wrong with it here in a minute. What I'm gathering is that you're just trying to prove your brother's innocence.
That's the main goal. Yeah, you're... Damn, mowing down hunters.
Oh,
God.
Get through the door.
Let me guess, you used the turret?
Hell yeah,
What
I
are you
did.
playing on, real quick?
Normal.
Oh.
That's the place wouldn't let me do heroic. If it did, I had no idea how to change it. But that was the stupid. Oh my god, that's amazing.
So the very, very end of Darksiders 1 is supposed to be like the end of the series.
I
Hypothetically.
don't think so, no.
Because if 2 takes place in between that time span where...
It doesn't. It starts in that time span.
It starts in that time span.
Yeah, because the whole goal is to free War, which is the end of the first game.
Yeah, because the 7th seal was broken.
Right.
It's having not beaten Darksiders 2.
See, that's the other thing.
I can only say it's
that's
confusing.
the other thing. I'm getting a little. I need to hurry up and finish it then, because neither of you guys have finished Darksiders 2.
No.
It's
So we don't-
such a long game.
It is really long.
Okay.
The Outsider just spoke to us.
She's going to a band concert. Apparently, her band director is he's retiring after this year.
Oh.
And they never made the announcement until tonight.
That's
And that tonight is the last concert. So
kind of late.
well, seeing as how school ends next week.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm gonna have to finish playing it, because the last thing you see is Fury, Strife, and Death falling from the sky in the first game. And the 7th seal is broken, and the apocalypse has officially begun.
Yes.
Because that's the weird thing, is all of Darksiders 1 basically takes place in the interim between the end times and the apocalypse.
Because yeah, they haven't broke the 7th seal, and that's so maybe I'm just gonna have to play Darksiders 2 and finish it.
Please let us know, because I have no clue.
How far did you get? Did you awaken the Guardian, the big super stone set?
Do you know when you
statue
get your horse and you have that big boss fight in the field?
with the giant plant thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't gotten there.
Do you have your horse yet?
You get your horse in the beginning of the game. You start off on your horse.
No, you don't. You start off in that icy cave thing.
In Darksiders 2? Yeah,
Yeah.
you start off on your horse.
Have you made it to where you're going to the Tree of Life yet?
No, I'm trying to awaken the giant guardian rock guy. The big one with the 3 heartstones.
So you haven't
Okay.
gotten to the first open bit. The truly open bit. There's a massive field area. That's where you're riding your horse through.
I remember seeing the giant plant thing where you're riding your horse through the field, but you start the game with your horse.
I could be forgetting. It's been a while since I've played Darksiders 2. I know I did the first major big boss fight. And then they said, cool, this is the beginning of the game. And I said, fuck this, I don't got time.
I don't know, I've put maybe 9 or 10 hours into it. Which, according to the average is about 24 hours. And I'm not doing any of the fucking side quests.
Where are you getting that number from? Is that just what you feel like you've put into it?
For what, the hours I put into it?
Yeah.
Off of the game itself.
Are you... Oh, you're trying to run through and collect everything then?
No, not on 2. Because now that I've seen... So I guess we're going to go ahead and just jump into 2.
I thought you already did. You were talking 2.
2 is a fucking RPG. And I hate it.
It went way more heavy on the RPG side. I genuinely
am disappointed with how different 2 is from 1.
Which is funny, because that's the exact opposite of what people said at the end of 1. You're like, I wanted more of an RPG out of this game, so they made 2.
But I wrapped my head around the fact... Daniel, why'd you do that?
Well, I mean...
Was that absolutely necessary?
No.
To be fair, I watched. She didn't help him fight any of those.
Just stood there taking shots in the face by a plasma pistol. I'm like, you know what? Ah.
I'm literally just sitting here talking, and then all of a sudden, BOP! But I loved the fact that Darksiders was a blood-heavy Legend of Zelda. That made it more enjoyable because there were more puzzles to it. There were more... It felt more like a Zelda meets God of War, I guess, is the best way to describe it.
Okay.
Then I get into Darksiders 2. I've got to worry about what armor I've got. I've got to worry about what weapons I'm using. I've got to worry about health, defense. I got to worry about all this extra crap. And now I've got to think of, okay, well, what armor is going to work best for this? What weapons do I want this?
It's actually not so bad. Once you don't have to, min-max like it makes it seem like you need to.
Because now I'm also...
You can get away with pretty much anything.
I'm trying to also now figure out, how do I get the best armor in the game? What is the best armor in the game? Google is no fucking help on that front. I think it's still the Abyssal armor, like it was in the first one. I think.
I don't remember.
So, I don't like the RPG aspects to it, and I don't like the optional side quests. Because they're a pain in the ass.
Those are both the things I actually liked about Darksiders 2. What I didn't like was how grindy it felt.
I think that's what got me, is just the fact that after how much time I'd put in thinking, man, I must be completing a lot of the game. I'm maybe halfway through the game, and they opened it up and they basically said, okay, now you're going to go to the next world and you've completed like Act 1 of 5. When I basically was like, I'm done.
Yeah, and I got much farther than you did, from what you've told me anyway. Because I made it to, there's like a flying ghost ship just after. God, there was one dungeon just before the flying ghost ship. It's set in like a coliseum. That thing's got like 6 bosses in it, I swear. It felt like it dragged on for hours.
Yeah, because I'm trying to wake up the giant stone guy that needs the 3 heart stones. That's what I'm trying to wake up.
Yeah, this is.
I think that's the boss I killed.
That.
I think that's the last thing I did before I stopped playing.
And that's pretty early. Like that's still the first major area of the game.
I'm trying to push through it. I'm gonna push through it. I'm gonna beat it. I got the Fred bug on this one. I started getting the achievables in the first game, and now I have to keep going because I want more achievables.
It has. Well, I guess it's going to be included in the collection.
What?
It had DLC. Darksiders 2 had a decent
The
amount of
remasters have all the DLC and everything, so you've got all that. I never actually did the DLC, so that's actually one I'm excited to do.
Was there any real DLC for the first game?
No, it was all fake.
Just like the news.
Daniel, nobody asked you.
Aww.
Go back to killing stuff.
He's doing a pretty bad job at it.
I don't know. Killing teammates, missing the rockets.
God, you should have seen him try and shoot heads earlier.
Whatevs. Okay,
I mean,
you have to say my stats now. It wasn't
Jesus,
awful.
yeah, you literally just skipped the sniper and you skipped the rockets. What the hell's wrong with you?
I don't
To be
need
fair,
it.
He's playing on normal in a Warhawk. He doesn't need them.
I don't need any of that.
Apparently you don't need headshots either.
Some people's kids, I swear.
Okay, so while Fred's being mean, I was playing, before we started, I was playing Halo Reach's Grunt Apocalypse, because that's my favorite mode in the whole entire world. And on there, we calculated that I killed 119 grunts And of those 119 grunts, I did, what was it, 103 headshots. I'd say I did pretty darn well.
And Fred still says amateur.
I mean,
Fred is just being
that's
mean.
16 grunts you did not get a headshot
Team
on.
Sniper would have at least gotten another 14.
Let's be fair. Team Sniper would have double tapped the foot shot into like a pulse rifle kill.
I would have killed twice as many with half the ammo.
Speaking of pulse rifles,
Ooh.
What?
Destiny 2.
Heyo.
I don't know if I'm right there. I don't know if I'm quite ready for Destiny 2 yet.
Oh, just kidding.
But the segue.
But I don't give a shit. You know what Destiny does have? Aliens. Let's talk Alien Covenant.
Ooh.
Oh.
I completely forgot we were going to talk about that.
So I do want to say that.
So it has been confirmed that that Halo and Alien are actually related. Did y'all see that?
Apparently Destiny 2 as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because we did not at all mention Halo, but all right.
This is going to be a super spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen the movie, so if you want to skip it, click, I guess, right here, and it'll take you forward.
Right here. Thank you for the visual aid.
Right here. That's
Right.
where you put something up on the screen.
Yeah, click right, I don't know, here? Maybe here? I don't know, here?
Can you just keep moving it every time we say here?
All right.
God damn it, you weren't supposed to explain the joke! God damn it.
Anyway, Alien Covenant is a movie.
I did not see the fact that David created the Xenomorph. That
I
was
didn't-
honestly a surprise to me.
I didn't know it was a prequel to the franchise. I thought it was supposed to be picking up.
No, well, I knew from the get-go this was part of Ridley Scott's trilogy. Is like prior to Alien Trilogy, which started with Prometheus, now it's Alien Covenant, and then it'll be whatever the next one is. This one was actually supposed to be less about the alien, less about the Xenomorph, and more about the engineers and basically explaining all of them and why they existed, why they've ever done anything that they've done,
So
which sounded horrible.
basically it was supposed to be about the thing they spent the least amount of time on in the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was supposed to be that, and it was supposed to be called Paradise Lost. Alien Paradise Lost is what it's going to be called. All that got scrapped.
I'm going to put a pin right in that just to start with saying, given how much backlash there was over how little Alien was shown in Prometheus, I can respect that they chose to focus on what people said they wanted.
Well, I don't think it was as much as that. They needed more goodwill with the audience, I think.
Okay.
And so they basically said, we're just going to essentially recreate the first Alien.
They did basically almost moment for moment recreate Alien.
In fact, there was a number of scenes, and they came rapid fire towards the end, that were straight out of the first movie.
Like the fact that she's an engineer and she has to beat the alien using her mechanical genius. Straight out of Aliens.
Wasn't that? Yeah, too.
Yeah, but I mean, you could obviously draw the parallels that they're trying to recreate the get away from her bitch moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a shower scene with basically two of the last survivors.
Yeah.
Oh, in Covenant?
Yeah,
Yeah,
in Covenant.
okay.
There's a shower scene with, and they're having their fun time, and the Xenomorph is standing behind a pane of glass, and you see the tail kind of curve up from below and curve upward, which is shot for shot a remake of a scene in the original.
Right.
And it was just the tail coming up, the woman feels it, and then she notices the Xenomorph, and everyone dies.
I was surprised there was no cat.
I'm glad they didn't have a cat. I'm glad they didn't have a dog either. I really expected there to be a dog to replace the cat.
That would have killed me.
God damn it. And then they had that scene with the tipping water bird thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which, that I would have been okay with, because that's just an homage.
Simpsons did it.
Thanks, Daniel.
They did.
Alien did it first, bitch.
I mean, that would have just been...
Yeah, I guess so.
That would have just been an homage to the original film. I'm perfectly fine with that kind of stuff.
Did you watch any of the prequel stuff I told you to watch?
I mean, I've watched Prometheus. I've watched all of Prometheus.
Did you watch the in-between bit about David and Shaw?
Was that a video they just posted online somewhere, or?
It was on the special features of the movie, and it was also posted on YouTube. And then there was also the Last Supper prequel story to Alien Covenant that explained everything about the original, about that crew.
Oh, no, I didn't watch either of those, but I can see why you'd say watch them.
Well, luckily, the movie seemed to explain what happened to the characters pretty well. I mean, it gave me enough to where I didn't think I needed to see anything extra to know what had happened to them.
The Last Supper thing explains more about the crew and everything, and It kind of filled in the gaps as to what was going on instead of just seeing Walter running around the ship.
I was actually okay with that opening. It left enough mystery and intrigue to keep me wanting to know more. It didn't that. Honestly, the opening of the movie was more.
It bothered me.
Why?
It did. It bothered me. I can't describe why. It bothered me that all of a sudden you just see. It just had that hint of let's just throw the confusion at you at first and then clear everything up in a moment.
Well, it started in media res, and it didn't start. I think it actually didn't start too strongly. It basically said, "Hey, you're awake. Oh, suddenly there's shit happening. Get to it."
That
it's
is
like,
one
whoa,
thing.
Okay, hold on.
I don't like that it started on the solar flare. Like I don't like that it started on the and here's why they have to run into the alien scene. But I did like that it started with just Walter on the ship. Like to me, that was enough of. Okay, obviously the android. Okay, I guess you're the only one awake. Like, him doing maintenance before the solar flare, perfectly fine.
I love that, actually. I did really like that.
Like, that was enough of an introduction to them to keep me interested.
That's how Passengers should have started. I don't know why that's still on my brain, but God, that fucking movie.
Passengers
Anyway.
feels like the Alien movie before the Alien showed
I really
up.
enjoyed Passengers.
I loved the concept. I loved a lot about it, except the first 30 minutes. Should have been the first 5 minutes, at most.
The first 30 minutes should have been
Well, not
in
even
the middle of the movie as an explanation.
Yeah, it should have opened up with Chris Pratt doing something, some kind of maintenance work, and then suddenly Jennifer Lawrence wakes up. That way the audience then, from that point on, takes it from... We actually talked about this briefly last week.
We
but
did. It would have been a much better movie from her perspective.
Yes. From his perspective, it just seemed boring.
But I guess the biggest shock to me was David created the xenomorphs. That was honestly a surprise to me. I don't know if either of you saw it coming. I'm sure Fred probably did.
Well, as soon as I realized where they were, basically after he saved them and went running to the temple thing,
Yeah.
which they had a name for it, I can't remember now.
Citadel,
Something.
whatever.
Something like that.
Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Synagogue.
Sure.
When he ran to the synagogue.
Denny's.
When he ran to the alien Denny's, he took his hood off. I was like, oh, David? Oh shit, this is gonna be some alien. Like he's the one experimenting. That's why the xenomorphs are around now.
So who is David again?
David was the original alien. He was the original android from Prometheus. He was
Okay.
basically there to make sure Mr. Wayland could meet the creators to help extend his life.
I hated his role in this film.
I somewhat agree with you. Having him be just the I will create life felt like a cop-out to his arc.
It did, because Prometheus was all about building him as a hero. The entire movie went from, we don't trust you, and then by the end you're like, oh yeah, David, he's a pretty okay guy.
I don't even know if it was building him as a hero, because even up to the end of that movie, I was still kind of like, I don't know if I would trust you. I mean,
David
he
is the one who
basically-
killed Shaw's husband. Remember?
Yeah, and he's the one who
Right.
killed Walter.
But he's the one who
not
also got
Walter,
Shaw out of there.
He did kill Walter. But no, if Shaw saved him.
Shaw saved him. I mean, I would say it's more of a movie
Oh, that's
of
right. She
explaining
rebuilt him.
that
Yeah.
David is not so much of a hero, but building him up as human.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
In one of the little videos I originally told you guys to watch, is that it's 2 minutes and 40 seconds. She puts him back together, and then they're sitting there, and he's teaching her how to fly the ship. And then it just shows, the last thing you see in the video is they're flying over and docking into the Citadel, right over the synagogue Denny's. And then you just see the door open, and you see all the canisters start to go up to the ceiling and get ready to fall. And that was it. So the video led you
That's
to
a
look,
huge spoiler there.
Yeah, I
for
mean,
parts
that's
of the movie.
directly in the film.
Yeah, but it leads you to believe that they're there instead of, because remember, at the end it kind of made you seem like, oh, well, she wants to go there and talk to him and find out why they're trying to kill her. But then that video kind of explains that, well, maybe they're just there to go kill all of them. But she's still asleep, and all you see is David is the one dropping the canisters on him.
Yeah, that's a major spoiler. Achievement.
All right,
Lord,
achievement?
So easy.
Achievement!
There you go. You got it on camera, Steve.
Woohoo!
So I actually find it interesting because it's weird because it was one of the things I really liked about Prometheus was the story of basically, do you really want to meet your maker? And then in this one, they turned it into just, well, now he's an AI, which means he seeks perfection and to build perfect. To me, that just felt like a cop-out.
Well, it wasn't that he was seeking perfection. I mean, he even stated he was seeking creation.
But he even said, I've created the perfect life form multiple times.
Right. But they
Whoa.
say that about the xenomorphs throughout the whole franchise.
Yeah.
That's more of just reiterating what has been shared.
Which is why they had Predator end up Alien versus Predator. That was why, because if Xenomorph is the perfect
Is AVP
being,
canon though? I thought
Yes.
No, it's technically not.
I thought it was like a side series, and now it's own canon.
Yeah, it's technically not canon, at least to the Alien franchise. I don't know if it is for Predator.
It
or
is for
not,
Predator. Because the new
But yeah, it was like the hunt.
Well, no,
the best
'cause
hunt to take
the
on
new
the
Predator
best
movie
Predator.
takes place after AVP Requiem.
Well,
In the
but
same
then
universe.
in that universe, didn't Earth get overrun by xenomorphs? That
No,
was the
No,
end
a
of the-
town did, but they killed them all.
Yeah, a town.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, but other Predators
Yeah.
came and wiped them out with one of their Predator bombs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was really
that's-
weird. It was not a good movie.
None
Requiem
of them
was
were
bad. I
horrible.
liked the first one.
They were both god awful. I struggled to watch
The
them.
first AVP was good because of the time when it came out.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No,
It was
here's
horrible.
why it was good. It was good because that was back during the time when everyone was saying, man, Alien would definitely beat Predator in a fight. And then everyone else goes, no, Predator would win that fight.
Predator would.
No, I'm pretty sure that was the time where Freddy versus Jason came out, and they're like, "Hey, we have two horror movie
Yeah, that's
cliches.
honestly
Let's
that's
do
probably
that."
exactly why
It
came
is.
out.
I liked a lot of the original like horror versus horror stuff. I thought was, they're not good movies, but it's stuff that you always wanted to see. God damn it, Daniel.
He
You wouldn't
has
get in. It's not my fault.
he has no fucks for these.
But it's kind of like,
Friendlies.
do you remember all the spoofs about how like Terminator versus RoboCop and everyone always wanted to see it?
Daniel gonna die.
I feel like it was basically, it was that movie. It was just the who would win in a fight, Godzilla or King Kong.
Yeah, but if you're gonna make that movie, at least make the fucking movie. Don't just half-ass your way through it. Which that entire movie was just half-assed.
It was not.
I felt
Watch
like it was
it
an
again.
okay combination of both franchises.
No,
they
it wasn't.
covered the basic parts of both franchises,
Yeah, it covered the basic parts of both franchises. It had aliens and it had a predator.
and then it made
Awesome.
them fight. And that's what I wanted
That
to
was
see.
that was the entire movie. That's all that was. Terrible. Anyway, Alien Covenant. Where were we before we got into that?
The Xenomorph being the perfect being. Skyler said something about creation trying to make the perfect being.
I felt
Oh,
like the arc
I
for
felt,
David.
I felt more that David with Fred. David was more just trying to create. He was infatuated with the fact that the engineers supposedly created humans. Humans created him. He was more infatuated with the idea and theory of creation rather than what he created. He created the several different species of xenomorph until he got to the final product, the ultimate one, his final experiment, as he called it.
Which, by the way, I don't think that was the same xenomorph that we see in the original films. It looks very, very different. The original film had a lot of...
The final black one?
Yeah.
I
is
think
the
it's
same
an.
one.
I think
No,
it's
it's not. And I know it's not the exact same. No, I think it's
Well,
close.
yeah, it's not gonna be the exact same because the one
Oh,
from
the
the
one
first
in the-
Alien movie was a new facehugger.
And
Anyways,
the one in the Covenant died
yeah.
anyway at the end.
But he had all of the original eggs. Well, he had the original embryos.
Well, this is where I'm going to start getting into a little lore. I don't know. I'm not an expert on alien lore.
IGN did cover the
But,
lore, so I can kind of help guide the way a little bit.
But my theory on this is that was close to the same xenomorph that we see in Alien, but the one in Alien has a lot more mechanical parts to it. Almost like it came from an android of some kind.
Well, remember and this is where we're gonna get into just film in general. The one in Alien was literally a guy in a suit with mechanical rigging to control half of it. This new one was a CGI alien where they could show it doing all sorts of flippy-do without having to actually have rigging.
But
the whole point of the costume is that you can't tell it's a man in a suit. It's supposed to look like it's part of every part of
Right.
it. Even the mechanical parts are part of the presentation.
I think they just made it. I think they made it a bit skinnier and a bit more bony to make it more terrifying in the new one. I think it's supposed to be the same xenomorph.
I don't
It's
think it
just-
is.
it's
Because where's the next step? So he thinks humanity is flawed. So how can you create the perfect organism from a flawed being? He thinks himself to be perfect, or androids at least are the perfect creation that humanity has made. I could see it being an extension. He's creating a species of xenomorphs built from androids.
I guess, but if it weren't for the fact that in the original movies, they didn't kill androids. They couldn't infect androids. They could only
That one
attack
couldn't.
humans. No, in the original Alien and in Aliens, it couldn't implant in the android.
Right, but if it came from an android, maybe there's I don't know.
But these are
like
a
I said,
prequel.
I don't know.
I can't.
Right, this is the prequel.
Right, so
This is before all of that.
right, so in those in the ones that come afterwards, the facehugger couldn't implant an android. So why could the ones that come before implant an android?
Because maybe that got phased out through DNA evolution.
because I will say
Which is
that
the whole point.
they did confirm that the planet that David is taking everybody to, that new colony planet, that is the planet from Aliens. It's
From
the s-
Alien? Well, the planet
Aliens.
from Aliens is the planet from Alien.
Yeah, LV-426.
Which is
That
the-
actually-
that is the same planet where they're all going to. David's taking that cargo, the colony ship that Covenant is on, the Alien Covenant movie. That's the ship going to the planet LV-4 whatever.
I think it's 426.
That actually annoys me
426.
more because that planet only had one ship on it in Alien and Aliens.
And
No, it
that's
had a whole colony
the-
in Aliens.
In Aliens, it had a colony, but in Alien, it only had one ship on it. The space jockey ship.
But
The Big C.
here's a thought. Maybe this takes place in between one Alien and Aliens. So them being there would have been the colony ship that had lived there for 20 years that they talk about in Aliens.
But then how would the facehugger have been there for Alien? Because they went onto the ship and found the eggs.
All I can
I
tell
don't know.
you is
Good
that
point.
the colony ship, according to Ridley Scott, and I'll find you the IGN article where they did this. According to Ridley Scott, the ship that David is on with all the colonists is the same ship, and that's they're going to the same planet that is in Aliens.
All I know
that's
is
the planet they're going to.
They're falling into the Star Wars prequel trap where he's going to feel like he has to end the third movie with Darth Vader falling on his knees screaming no already in the suit.
what?
I'd lost.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The big problem with the Star Wars prequels is he had to end it with Darth Vader becoming a thing. A lot of people hate it because the entire series basically just led up to put him in the suit now at the end. And he's going to stay that exact way for 20 years.
So for some reason, my brain replaced Luke in that scene where he yells no. My brain replaced that with Darth Vader. I was like, when the fuck did that happen?
But
It was
that's
in
where I'm
the-
thinking it's
the
going to be the thing
director's
of like...
cut.
The
Oh,
third
yeah.
movie's just going to be a jumbled up mess of explaining of how you go from the colony ship to the engineer ship to tons of facehugger eggs to being there to now the alien ship is coming in. Like, it's just going to be a convoluted mess of setting up so that it's perfectly set up to lead into the next film.
I think, and this is why I hate prequels in a series that really didn't need a prequel. But yeah, it's
It
going to
did.
be convoluted. It's already convoluted.
It is. I mean, Prometheus I didn't feel was that convoluted.
Not really. It just I didn't like the story they were going with. The explanation of the engineers and all that. I liked it better when it was just, oh, this is a really cool alien space thing happening in front of me.
Yeah.
What is this thing sitting in this chair? This is a really cool scene. I love this. I like that better than knowing what it is and why it was there. Which, also, I've seen theories that the person in that seat in the original Alien is David. I've seen that theory running around.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch
That'd be
the
interesting.
original Alien trilogy.
I actually watched the first movie after I got home from seeing Alien Covenant. I went ahead and watched the first movie because I was like, I want to see a better Alien movie.
That's the thing
Then watch
is,
Aliens.
this wasn't a bad movie. It's just,
I liked Alien better.
it wasn't as good as Alien or even Aliens. I still say Aliens was a good movie. It's just,
Aliens is good. I like
it's just not a
Aliens.
horror movie.
Yeah.
No, it's an action movie.
Right.
Which is not what I want.
It's definitely better than the ones that came after Aliens. I'll say that.
Well, yeah, everything
Yeah.
is better than what came.
Well-
We've got what Resurrection and what is it? Alien
3 and Resurrection.
3 and Resurrection, where they bring back the what's her name, Sigourney
Yeah,
Weaver,
they clone her.
and make her the mother of all aliens.
Yep. Because
should be.
you just gotta have more Weaver.
Also, the David creating the xenomorphs kind of puts a hole in the whole alien queen thing, doesn't it?
Maybe he designs the queen too.
I
Well, no,
mean,
actually, now that I think about it, they did end with a line saying that he's looking to nurture this species until it's able to sustain itself.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what comes to fruition in Aliens with the Queen? Maybe?
I guess that was just more so part of the life cycle that we don't get to see in Covenant.
Maybe.
Because, I mean, you don't get to see an alien either, but...
I thought you yelled Covenant as in there are elites running out of the Scarab.
Covenant's become a pretty popular word after Halo.
I mean, it's a pretty popular word after, the Bible.
I think it went out of fashion for a while.
It did, maybe for a couple hundred years, but it's made its way back.
I mean, you had covens for a little bit with witches, but...
I think I'm going to go ahead and give props to Mel Gibson. Passion of the Christ. I think that had Covenant somewhere in it.
Okay, sure.
I don't know. I'm just religious imagery now.
It was...
Kind of like the Covenant on screen.
We're gonna have some hate comments after this.
I don't know,
I'm
I
sure.
mean...
Hey, better than none, right?
If we're going into, like, alien lore, do you consider the games alien lore?
No, I don't think so.
Really? I mean, I would say Isolation is pretty much lore.
No, it's not just because Ridley Scott has said no.
Oh.
Which
damn it.
sucks. It would be a really cool one.
That one was a very lore-friendly one.
It was really good. And a better story than I've seen in the movies since the original.
Yeah, that's actually kind of what I was hoping we were going to get with Covenant, was something along the lines of Alien Isolation.
I was disappointed that Covenant wasn't a horror movie. I mean, we kind of mentioned I like Alien better than Aliens.
It was a suspense movie.
Covenant was also, this was confirmed, Covenant was Ridley Scott's goriest movie yet.
Oh, it was definitely gory.
And
It
I will
actually-
say that...
But that's not scary.
Some of the gore was a little bit over the top, in my opinion.
I was going to say, it felt unnecessary in a lot of
Like,
places.
at the very, like the first, when you see the thing trying to come out of the guy's back, that was just a little bit too much blood.
No, I actually...
that was fine. That I thought was
That
a
was just
creepy shot.
If they had just diminished the amount of blood and the length of time by even 5 seconds.
The part that was too much blood was when 5 people slipped on the same goddamn blood puddle back to back.
No, that was 2 people that slipped.
There was 3 slips.
You're talking about in the medical bay?
Yeah.
Right after the first
There's
baby
the
xenomorph
one,
pops out?
The one lady, what's his face's wife, slips with the knife.
Yeah.
Then she slips while holding the gun. Then running out, she slips again and breaks her foot.
She didn't make it out. Oh, yeah, she did. That's right. She did slip because the door was closing
slipping on that
her.
same blood puddle. I'm like, God damn it! You played this out already enough.
Hey, it was
Achievement!
slippery.
Complete
I didn't die! Yeah! Woo!
What's sadder is how
You're
do you
playing
not
on
have that
normal.
achievement, Steve?
Hey, you know what?
I die a lot. We all know I'm not good at shooters.
Here's the worst part. Daniel's playing on normal. That's the second level he's beaten, and yet he just got that achievement.
Because I died once on the first one.
That tells me you died once.
Wow. I remember you telling me horror stories of you dying a bunch.
Yeah, I was also speedrunning the game where half of the shit I'm doing is on the edge of the world.
Well, I'm doing all my shit in the middle of the world.
And dying too. God damn it.
All in all, Covenant, okay movie. Go watch Alien or Aliens.
No, go see Covenant. I mean, Covenant was a worthwhile watch, definitely.
I found it very, very interesting and very creative that David created the line of xenomorphs that goes into Aliens, and all the others. I mean, regardless of what anybody else says, he started that evolutionary trend of species.
Yeah, which we'll get... I think they're going to really dive in on with the next film, it seems like, especially since he's taking it with the colonists. Maybe this explains what happened on LV-426, when all the colonists land there and they built their colony, and then suddenly David unleashes all the hell.
But they do that, like...
I'm just throwing things out here.
That does not make any sense, because that's like 100 years after Alien.
Right.
And they only go there... no, that doesn't make sense.
It could make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It could.
But it doesn't.
They're gonna write it in with one
It is
extra
Ridley
line.
Scott.
There's only one way that could make sense, and that makes less sense.
Yeah.
And that's what he's gonna use.
He's Ridley Scott, not M. Night Shyamalan.
What'd you call me?
Shyamalan.
You're right. Ridley Scott at least makes good,
Hey,
at least
Shyamalan,
decent
is that
films.
the guy who did Sixth Sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, I get that reference then.
It's the guy who made good movies up until the early 2000s, and then for some reason stopped
And then
making
decided
good
to
movies.
make what was the one that was the aliens that were allergic to water?
Signs. I actually like
I
Signs.
liked Signs. They weren't
Signs was
allergic to water.
It was
just
not
really
a good
hurt
film.
them.
It was not.
And-
That was one that was like the first film I remember
I
as a kid.
loved that movie.
Signs
Oh, it
was
wasn't.
good.
They weren't allergic. That's right. I'm thinking War of the Worlds, where they're allergic to the air.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
But the original.
the
was-
original.
Yeah.
The remake.
The remake was passable. I mean, it was
The remake. Yeah, I mean, good story, not as good as it's been told in the past.
Tom Cruise is not a good enough actor for that. He's great
But
in
he's
a lot
good
of
enough
stuff.
for the Mummy.
Yeah. I mean, really, does the Mummy
He was
have a
in The
high
Mummy.
pedigree?
And he's
War of the
he's going to
Worlds
be in the
did.
new
He's
gonna
Mummy.
be in the
Which,
new
to
one.
be fair, this is actually a clarification that I feel
gonna
almost
say.
needs to be made. The new Mummy is not the same as the Mummy trilogy that we later
No,
got.
this is
Yeah,
it's
this is
same
completely
universe
different.
though.
No,
this is completely different.
This
Is
is
it
a new
completely
universe
different?
because this is the this is like the classic monster movie universe. That's like Frankenstein,
Which-
Dracula.
Actually, they named and had a picture of a lot of the major characters.
The Dark Universe?
They call it the Dark Creatures Universe.
I do remember seeing that. Okay,
They just released that picture a couple days ago, I think.
I do remember.
It's weird because a lot of the movies
Don't do it.
I
What?
want to actually see modern
Scrub.
versions of some of the classic monster movies. Given that they grabbed, like, given what they're doing with The Mummy, I don't want to see them do it.
I was really surprised to learn that Russell Crowe's character in The Mummy was actually Dr. Jekyll.
Is it really?
I didn't expect that.
I don't like them mixing them together this early.
Oh, speaking of mixing them together early, I'm sorry. This actually reminded
They're
me.
Justice Leaguing it.
No. Speaking of Justice League, this actually, we're going on a complete tangent. I'm incredibly sorry about this. I don't know why I have this infatuation. Zack Snyder is no longer directing.
I was actually going to get to that in a little bit.
You were?
Yeah, I
Okay.
had notes on that.
Okay.
No one wants it.
Well,
No, we'll talk about why.
we'll talk about why.
There's a big reason.
There's a
But
big, yeah. It actually, it made me very, very sad. But
There's the Dark Creatures universe just sounds like a stupid idea. This sounds like, hey, Universal, you've got a thing. Maybe you can combine these characters and make a universe, a
It
shared
literally
universe
sounds
like
like they're
Marvel.
saying, yeah, oh, look, Marvel did it. DC failed at it. Let's fail at it, too.
Let's do our own.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like they're doing well. It would have been...
it seems like Marvel's about to start failing, though. The amount of TV show spin-offs that they have also intertwining in their universe, it's getting to be way too much.
I mean, at this point, I'd say Marvel Cinematic Universe is just a comic book universe.
I got one for you guys. So
Oh, no.
y'all talking about this Marvel stuff and how you see it's probably going to implode on itself. Vampires.
That's in the Dark Creatures universe.
I'm talking about all the vampire movies and TV shows they had.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he has a point.
Like in the
Are
media.
those all like same universe?
No,
No.
just in
Oh.
general. Just
But-
how the entire saturation of a ton of vampire TV shows, teen dramas.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
which
all
one
of those,
was
and
not
now
well,
they're all
like which one was not
gone.
successful.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Thing about Marvel though, they're not stupid.
And they're also not stuck with only vampires.
no, they. Well, I mean,
They've
they
got-
added other shit like witches and.
They've
But
got
I mean,
what,
that's-
like 100 years of things they can play with until
Yeah.
finally they're like, all right, we're out of money. Let's go
And
do
I mean,
something
they
else.
can literally just, if something stops being successful, they can just say, okay, we're going to do this now.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't like the She-Hulk series? Okay, fine, we won't do more She-Hulk. Here's Deadpool TV show.
Oh, Iron Man's story got kind of tired in 3. All right, let's just not do Iron Man anymore.
Yeah.
Cool.
And no
Fine
one
with that.
complains.
You only see Iron Man in brief things here and there. He was a little bit...
Or
you
in the
know,
mashups.
He was in Civil War. He's showing up a little bit in Spider-Man Homecoming. He's showing up...
He's going to be big in Homecoming. He's going to be a big part of that one.
But they're
It'll
no longer
probably
doing
be-
They had
Iron
a
Man
pop
centric
figure
stuff.
for him, so he's gonna be big.
Yeah. So, but it's just he's gonna have the same amount of leverage as he did in Captain America: Civil War.
I mean, to be
Yeah,
fair,
I
he
mean-
was probably the, like, one of the two leads for that movie.
For which one?
Civil War.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Civil War was Captain
I mean-
America and Iron Man.
Yeah, that was the two of them. But it wasn't an Iron. It was Captain America: Civil War.
It might as well have been an Avengers movie. That's what I think of it as. I
That's
don't even think of
right.
it as anything but an Avengers movie. And it throws me off when people say the third one's getting ready to come out. Like,
I mean, that's
no?
like
No.
the only reason Ragnarok is not an adventure movie is
God damn
because
it.
it's.
I didn't want to talk Marvel again. It's so hard to find images to cover that. Never mind, we got gameplay. I'm good.
Yeah.
Going.
But I mean, that's the thing. Is the only reason Ragnarok's not a Avengers movie is because it's Thor, Hulk, and other Marvel characters.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Other
and
Marvel
maybe some
characters,
more.
yeah.
Other.
And also supposedly going to meet up potentially with the Guardians of the Galaxy to some degree.
No, I think
No.
they've ruled that out at this point.
No,
Oh,
Guardians
okay.
of the Galaxy. The next time we see Guardians is in Avengers Infinity War.
I thought they said that they was going to set up the tie-in.
No, next time we see Guardians is Infinity War.
But yeah, the Dark Creatures universe doesn't seem like something that needs to be made. I mean, there's some very classic films that they're going to start tinkering with, and that's never a good idea.
Like I said, I
Dracula?
want to see a modern version of it done. I just
No.
seeing how they're doing it, I don't want to see them do it. It's my argument is think back to like, and I actually liked a lot of the old original like monster movies, but think back to like the original Dracula where you really couldn't see anything that was going on, which added to the fear. The big one that I would point to is the original Wolfman. There's like 3 frames you can actually understand what's happening in that movie,
Yeah, that one was a mess.
but it's an actually
was-
really good monster movie.
Yeah,
I would
it
love
was
to
more of a
see-
mess because of the time it came out.
Well, that's the thing is back then it was hard to do dark scenes in black and white.
Right.
I would love to see a modern version of that movie done in the same style. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to go for big flashy werewolf.
Yeah, I mean, they got to go for the shared universe. They got to make this summer blockbuster thing
And that's
happen.
the problem is it's like I just want to see the classic Dracula, you have to invite him over the threshold story. The classic werewolf of he's going to kill the thing he loves most.
Also, I just want to point out real quick, Daniel, I forgot you fight in this area. I don't think I've ever stopped and fought here. I just walk past it all.
What?
You can just, I mean, you just go up that hill anyway. It's completely open.
Yeah, you get to like fight off waves and shit.
Yeah, I don't think I've done that since I played the game maybe the first time. Like, I always just walk past because like, I don't want to fuck with that. I'm just getting to the fun part. I forgot you got a warthog in here.
Yeah, this is a
I
vehicle
thought you
level.
didn't. Well, I always grab the ghost just before you pass the first wraith. So when you go to lower the bridge,
Okay.
I forget you get a warthog. Anyway, sorry.
Back on track. I don't know. It's weird because you can't deny it'd be nice to actually see almost like a almost like a remastered version of those movies.
Well,
What was that for?
I need a reason.
Yes, you need a reason.
Also, your Marines just killed those 2 at the same time. That was pretty good.
My guys are good.
I don't want to see those monsters again. They were classic monsters for a reason. Leave
I
them
want
there.
new monsters.
Yeah, we need good new horror
what I want?
monsters.
Unicorn rabbits.
I want the mash. I want the monster mash.
It's the monster man.
I will actually be
No,
sad if
because
that's
that's
not in
what
one
they're
of
doing.
I
They're
really-
making the monster
I really
mash.
don't want to see the Dark Creatures universe. I don't. I'm very disappointed.
Although-
I get the whole let's bring the old back and make it new, but no. Some things need to stay where they were.
I don't think it needs to be tied in together.
New is always better.
That's the thing is, if they want to make updated versions of the classic monster thing, cool. Don't tie them together. Just make a movie. Make
Or
a
if you
good
want to tie them
movie.
together, do it after you've made the standalone versions that were good.
No, don't tie them together. They don't. Not everything needs to be. All right, that was noisy.
This is what you get when you just throw bottles without reason.
Not everything needs to be tied together. Stop throwing shit. It's just not worth ruining these classic monsters. And I guess I'm getting ahead of myself saying it's ruining these because they could be really good. This could be the best shared universe ever.
It
I
won't be,
don't
but
see
it could be.
happening. Speaking of not good shared universes, Justice League we were going to talk about?
Yeah, I do want to point this out. So Zack Snyder is no longer a part of the. What did you break?
That's a terminal, Daniel.
Oh, I
Cool.
don't want to do that.
It just wait a sec. You can chill out. Just go back to the game. Fucking panic mode.
Christ. Yeah, so Zack Snyder will no longer be directing Justice League because he is taking a break from filmmaking because I think his daughter either she died or she killed herself. I don't remember which.
His daughter committed suicide.
That's what it was.
But he's not actually. He's just taking a break. He's not giving up anything.
He did try to just throw himself into his work to keep his mind off of it, but it didn't work.
And really, the film's basically done. So all of the influence he really needed to have in the film, he's already put.
Sure.
At this point, it's already in post-production, aside from a handful of scenes he wants to be reshot, which are being reshot by Joss Whedon, who did The Avengers.
Yeah.
Which Joss Whedon wrote those extra scenes anyway. So before everything happened, Joss Whedon wrote these scenes. Zack Snyder said, "Oh, cool, yeah, let's film those." And now he's just saying, "Okay, you go do it. You knew what you were doing. You go do it now."
Yeah.
And then handle post-production.
It just sucks that, it always sucks when, a loved one commits suicide like that. And the fact that he tried to push through it I find that impressive and endearing. But
I mean, people do their own thing.
people deal
I'm
with
not-
grief in their own ways. I get that. But at some point, it's just the fact that he realized he needed to grieve a little more.
The point I want to focus on more, though, is how this could affect Justice League.
It could make it with Joss Whedon at the helm for some of these extra scenes. It could help it.
I'm hoping that with him overseeing the post-production, that we're going to get less of the Zack Snyder effect in this film.
You mean the slow-mo?
The slow-mo every 5 seconds, the great imagery with absolutely no
Point.
story behind it. This awesome scene of Superman dropping down like an angel with the sun behind him. Like, beautiful scene, him coming down to save people in a flood. That was just B-roll footage. That was just Superman saves people.
Yeah.
There was no point to that beautiful imagery aside from it looking pretty. And that's what Zack Snyder does.
But it looks so pretty.
Yeah, but pretty doesn't substitute good.
Daniel, you
Yeah.
got a retort to that? Pretty doesn't substitute good?
I mean, I like looking at pretty stuff, but
That's
the
cool.
pretty thing doesn't keep me, occupied. I'm gonna lose interest pretty fast, and at that point, am I still looking at pretty things anymore? No, because I already lost interest.
Yeah, Daniel, did you ever play through Killzone Shadowfall?
Oh hell no!
Yeah.
It was pretty,
Point made.
It was
but
pretty.
it sucked.
That's the problem I have with Zack Snyder, and he's always been that way with his
He was
filmmaking.
that way
That's
with
his
300.
style. 300 with Watchmen and
That's right, he did Watchmen
he
too.
did a few other comic booky things. Oh, didn't he do? No, that was Frank Miller. Did Frank Miller?
I got this.
Sin City.
Yeah, he did.
Zack Snyder do Sin City?
I think he did.
Yeah,
I'm
but Sin
checking.
City, I'd say, was actually that was one where it did connect well.
I enjoyed the film. I don't know. I don't like what he did with it, but
I
it
mean-
did fit its style a little more so than it does with Justice League and
He
DC.
does come up with a lot of great visuals. Not all of them connect. I mean, still, I think the one thing that I still think is the best part of Batman v Supes was just that scene when the kryptonite gas is wearing off, and you just see Batman slowly start being unable to punch Superman.
Yeah, that was kind of a cool scene, except it painted Batman as kind of being dumb.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. The scene itself was not well set up, but the imagery within it was good.
Oh,
But
yeah,
that's,
the imagery.
That's the thing is, it's like,
He has great imagery and great symbolism in all of his shots.
right.
That's about it.
Sin City was Frank Miller, Robert Rodriguez, and
yeah.
Quentin Tarantino.
It was Robert Rodriguez. That's right.
So,
Tarantino produced it. He didn't direct.
no, it said other directors. Tarantino was on there.
Oh, he did. He definitely didn't direct it.
Um,
But I remember it was Robert Rodriguez is who I was thinking of.
I was gonna say, Sin City was a good movie. I liked Sin City.
It was it was okay. It was
I
okay.
prefer Sims 3.
Sim City, also a great movie.
The sequel not as good.
okay,
I
so here,
didn't know where else to
Let me
go.
pull up director, Justice League in Part 2, The Last Photograph, Batman v Superman, Superman Son of 75, Man of Steel, Sucker Punch.
Oh, Sucker Punch. That's right. That is one I was trying to think of.
That is a great example of amazing visuals, and the
Not a whole lot
entire
there.
story barely makes sense. Like, you have to fight to make that story make
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, which sucks because like 300, that's one of those films that I wanted to like, and I watched it a number of times in theater, and then I rented it at home a number of times. Like, I want to love this film, I just can't.
Sucker
Well, it's
Punch?
like the funny
Yeah.
thing is, Sucker Punch, there's so many arguments for the story, like what things actually mean and how it's supposed to make sense. And there's such amazing ideas of storytelling. But then you watch the film and you go, yeah, but they actually don't say that. That's actually not shown in the movie at all. It's just we're inferring that because we want the movie to be good.
Right. We're building our own story out of this.
Right.
He directed the Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole.
He fucking did?
He directed that.
I remember that movie came out when I worked at Cinemark. I used my free movie tickets to go see that.
He directed Watchmen 300, Dawn of the Dead in 2004.
That was working. I think that was working with Robert Rodriguez.
Yep, that was pretty much the last. That was really and truly his first big thing was in 2004, Dawn of the Dead,
Bites the Dust.
that he directed. Produced. He's been the producer on 14 different projects.
I am hoping that with Joss Whedon taking over at least post-production, we're gonna get a little less of the
Snyder effect.
Snyder effect. Because it's
Conceivable.
not a great way of telling a story.
Inconceivable.
Maybe Joss Whedon will do to the DC universe what it needs. Daniel, do I even want to know what the fuck you're trying to do?
I did it. That's all
Why?
that matters.
I like that you ran forward to kill things and then ran back to grab a tank.
He didn't
to
run
squeeze
back.
through.
He died.
Oh, I died.
Oh, it reset him that far back?
Yeah.
Oh, I
that
didn't
far
realize.
back, it was one hallway.
Oh, I thought you were like down the ramp a few ways.
No.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
No, I was trying to take this on without a vehicle, and it doesn't quite work.
It's actually not that bad. I'm just saying. I have the achievement.
I mean, I'll be honest. Justice League could come out and be a great movie, and I'd be happy.
No.
I actually like superhero movies.
You won't be happy with a good movie?
I said I will
It
be happy.
won't be a good movie though. That's the problem.
Why not?
It probably won't, especially after Wonder Woman supposedly being like the saving grace of the.
I will be
setup.
no, don't get me wrong. I will be entertained with Wonder Woman, Justice League. I'll be entertained with it. That kind of stuff gets my rocks off. But after what I'm learning about film from Fred and Skyler, I don't feel that it'll be a good movie.
Another one bites the dust.
Damn it.
See, the thing, you always like to point that studying film ruins movies, but I disagree with that highly. I think studying film helps you to better articulate what you like and don't like in the film itself. So I can better explain to you why I don't like Suicide Squad or Justice League.
That is a great movie. You bite your goddamn tongue.
Even you don't believe what you're saying right now.
Yes, I do. I love Suicide Squad. The more I watch it, the more I'm enjoying it.
That's fine.
I just the scene from Suicide Squad that made the movie worth me watching again was when Deadshot was in prison and they gave him those guns and he just went to town. I'm like, that's some cool fucking shit to display someone's superhuman ability.
That scene was amazing. Why couldn't they do that with all the characters?
That was so goddamn good.
It was really good.
Oh,
That was the
That
like,
scene was great.
When they first let him out of prison was the first good scene in that movie, in my opinion. Like the Harley Quinn thing where she comes out and she does the whole like, ha 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 ha, I'm only gonna kill a few of you.
Yeah.
I forget her exact line, but it was something along that line.
What
that was a much.
You want me to kill all of you and escape? I'm sorry. The voices.
Yeah,
Right.
it was something like that.
It was
That's
something like
the
that. That
line.
was a much better introduction to her character. That told me exactly. It's like, this is Harley Quinn. Oh yeah, she's crazy.
You also have to
she's
understand,
psycho.
going into Suicide Squad, they assumed everybody going in to watch it was familiar with some, if not all, of the characters.
And that is wrong for any film.
sure.
You should never assume that people will go in with outside knowledge of what you're trying to tell them.
what about
Right? Because
Spider-Man?
remember how many
Same thing.
people?
They
Remember
should
how
get-
many people knew Groot and loved Rocket Raccoon?
I had never heard of those people before this.
Exactly.
Most people had never heard of Guardians of the Galaxy before.
Yeah.
I didn't know they existed.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I didn't know they existed.
I knew about
I
a
thought it
handful-
was going to be the
I knew
first
a
Call
Bad
yourself
Marvel
a
movie.
fan.
I don't.
I knew a handful of their villains, like Ego and Tannix, or not Tannix.
I know
Thanos is
Ego
not-
and Shadow of the Colossus.
What's his name? Thanos. I knew about the two of them because both
Well, I knew
of
about
them,
Thanos from X-Men.
Yeah,
I knew about Thanos. I knew about Ego, but not as part of the Guardians universe.
Yeah, I knew that Ego makes an appearance in Silver Surfer and the Fantastic Four.
We're learning here Daniel doesn't know how to use a plasma pistol.
No,
by
he
the
really
way.
doesn't.
I hate this thing.
Then why did you pick it
It's-
up?
It is
I
literally
didn't mean to.
the-
There's literally nothing else at the exact moment when I got this.
Daniel, that is literally the best gun in that game.
I hate
You can kill anything almost instantly with that gun.
I hate using it.
You're terrible.
You're terrible.
It's a fusion rod if you know how to use it correctly.
You know what? You're entitled to your opinion, and
And
that's
it's
okay.
Y'all all three of y'all like the plasma pistol?
I do
I
not like the
fucking
plasma
love it.
pistol. I respect it.
I use it all the time just to get through stuff.
It's probably my least favorite weapon to use, but I respect it for its ability.
And you're entitled to your opinion, and that's okay.
I forgot I had that. I'm like, I'm going to use this and switch to my battle rifle.
I like how he's
Kaboom!
like, I'm actually going to use the 1-2 punch that you're supposed to use a plasma pistol for.
Well, I mean,
And it's the ultimate overkill.
it was a 1-2 punch.
It was a 1-2 punch when you
Jesus.
needed to blow on him.
Also, did you know a fully charged plasma pistol shot will disable vehicles and turrets?
No.
Then you're dumb. Yeah, that's why you were sitting there pewing the ghost as it was flying around you. It's like, why are you not charging? Anyway, Justice League, hopefully less Snyder in its editing. Wow, that sounded horrible. Probably shouldn't have cut that so short.
Sentence structure.
I cut out the wrong information.
He's got dualies!
Oh man, the
Now
splat
charge him and
dualies in
shoot.
Splatoon are going to be so fun.
What?
I just shot him
Dualies.
twice.
Yeah, he just shot it twice charged up, and it didn't take down the
You're
ghost.
doing it wrong. I didn't see what you did, so I couldn't even tell you
I
what you
charged
did
it
wrong.
up. I went poo poo and it hit the ghost twice, and it stayed afloat.
Wait, you charged it up twice that quickly?
Yeah,
I had two of them. I had duels.
Fred just doesn't
He
even
had
know.
dualies.
I wasn't looking. I was trying to figure out
He
how
had
to get on to the
splat
next
dualies.
topic. Because this is a podcast.
He had
a
dualies.
video.
Wow.
Hey, speaking of dualies, this game doesn't have it in there. Destiny 2. We've got.
Alright, so we can go to Destiny now.
I mean, sure, I'll let y'all talk Halo for another couple minutes.
No, it's fine.
Actually,
We'll
I
do-
wanted to talk Pokemon Go.
All right,
You
go
don't
for
fuck
it.
you and your Pokemon Go. Nobody's playing that shit anymore.
Actually, that is 100% false.
Yeah, he just charged it up and shot the ghost again. It's not taking it down.
Did you shoot the ghost or did you shoot the driver? It
I
looked
think
like
he
you
shot
hit
the
the driver.
That one I shot the driver. The other time I shot the ghost twice.
Telling you I didn't see it.
So you know what, we're gonna continue. We're gonna continue Destiny teasing because I want to bring this up.
Okay.
So I have a puppy, and puppies have to be walked constantly because their bladders are shittier than mine.
That's saying something.
That is saying something.
Thought you were gonna say something else. Keep going.
So I just started playing Pokemon Go because it's something to do while walking the dog at 2 a.m. in the goddamn morning. I am amazed at how active that game still is. There's a couple gyms right by my apartment. Hourly, they are taken over by new people, completely different accounts. I even checked the names just to see if it's the same people. I'd say there are maybe 50 to 60 people playing that game just around my apartment. And then what's weird is Niantic also just started up like sponsored events where you can now, I guess organizations can pay to have them just put a shitload of Pokemon in some area. And then as like a block party event.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to see where that's going.
That actually sounds more
Nowhere.
like.
Because
Yeah.
you're just standing in one spot.
Well, it's a
Good
point.
on you, Daniel.
Way to go, Chrissy Teigen.
I
You're
mean,
better
they
at
did,
making jokes than playing Halo.
They did. I want to say it was over in Ohio.
Damn.
I want to say it was in Ohio. They sponsored like an event where it was a block, like a trail you could follow, and along that trail it had like increased spawns and new stops, but only for a set time.
Well, they've talked about doing that all along, or versions of that, I guess. They've mentioned doing.
It's just interesting. I know they added Gen 2 not that long ago, and then this week actually ended what they called Adventure Week, where they did like a mini holiday, which supposedly they're going to do those all throughout summer, just like every week is a new holiday.
Well, they got to try and keep people here. That's a tough thing, especially through winter where people are less willing to go out walking places.
Right.
It's difficult to keep people on your service. So now that summer and spring are rolling around, they're really trying to get people in as quickly as they can. Like,
It's just-
hey, remember, we are really fun in the spring and summer when you're out walking anyway. Come play us.
I just kind of wonder if we're going to see a little bit of a resurgence in it, especially with the rumors that a Pokemon game is going to be announced here in the next couple months
Bullshit.
I think
For what?
for Switch.
Yeah.
I think if they do an announcement, that would be a huge benefit to Pokemon Go, because a lot of people will come back excited for Pokemon,
Well, and the other
wanting
thing is,
something related.
you mentioned it's a benefit to Pokemon Go. Remember, Pokemon Go is a big benefit to just the main games because it drives people back into them. I mean, download the free app, play it a bunch, get really hooked on it, and then go play Sun and Moon.
I don't think Pokemon Go is having enough of an impact on the main games as the
it
main
made
games themselves.
Sun and Moon the best-selling 3DS game of all time.
I feel like they would have done that anyway because people were excited for Pokemon Sun and Moon.
But
they
I think
just
that's
get
because they
excited
were
for main
re-excited
titles.
for the Pokemon franchise.
I don't think Go had much of an impact. It
I'd
probably
like to
had a
know.
little
I would
impact.
argue it had a huge impact.
I wouldn't, because especially at the time when it was coming out, the numbers on Pokemon Go were down drastically.
But the numbers prior to Sun and Moon's launch were huge.
No, they
Sun and
weren't.
Moon came out. Yeah.
I don't believe that to be
Pokemon
true.
Go was the #1 app of all time, technically.
Well, no, you can't say it's the black is the #1 color of all time. Technically, you can't. Your statement right there.
Right now, it's not topping the charts, but Pokemon Go was the most downloaded and most played game ever.
Most downloaded and most played are two different things. It may be most downloaded, and I could definitely believe that, especially being a free Pokemon thing. You're dead again.
At one point in time, it was the most played game.
At one time, yeah.
And
I can
would-
believe that.
I believe that when it was at its peak, it had the highest player base of any game.
I think you're overestimating how much of an impact it has on the mainstay Pokemon games.
I think you're underestimating.
And maybe I am.
You know what? I'm going to Google it and find out. What's your wager?
Let me know how that turns out.
I wagered that if he's wrong, then he gets to buy each one of us a single taco.
Most popular mobile game.
Hey,
Yes.
Fred,
Buy me a
1,000
burrito.
schmeckles.
You're on.
Most popular mobile
Taco,
game
you
of all time.
Jesus
I need
Schmeckles!
I need schmeckles, dude.
You can use Smackles to buy tacos.
You can use
Oh, wait,
schmeckles
no,
to
you
buy
can't.
tacos.
It's funny how
you
that
can use them to
works.
buy interdimensional tacos. They're schmeckles.
Zero G tacos, dude.
Zero-G tacos. They exist in one of the dimensions. That's
Suckers.
what we call a callback.
So, more interesting than whatever you're saying. Destiny 2.
Okay, fine. We're done. We're done teasing. You got stuck, by the way.
No, we
I
didn't.
didn't.
Oh, never mind. Went right between your legs.
So, we talked last week. Destiny 2 had its big gameplay reveal, and a lot of people got excited, and things were announced. But then, following that, and in the days and even the week afterwards, we got a lot more information from people who were just simply playing the game.
Right. Mostly just. A lot of it doesn't even have commentary because most of it was just straight footage from the floor.
Yeah.
But
2 websites, Insider Monkey and IGN. Pokemon Go on Insider Monkey is 5th most popular, most successful mobile game of all time. IGN, it's 7th.
What are the dates on those?
October 21st, 2016.
October 21st?
Of
that would have been
2016.
So that would have been...
yeah, after its peak.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe not the most successful of all time, but
So,
still
you are wrong.
huge. Well, the wager was did it?
No. Your wager was that it was the most successful game.
Is that what the wager was, Fred?
I forgot.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought the wager
See?
was that it
that's-
drastically increased sales of.
No,
Sun
the
and
wager
Moon.
was it
No.
was the most successful mobile game of all time.
Yes,
Well,
that's
this is why
what
you
that's
need
what
to
you
clarify what we're gambling on.
Actually,
We did.
fine. 1,000 schmeckles to you, sir.
actually,
Do I get a taco?
I will admit, I didn't know exactly what I was betting on.
How? I'm playing a game and listening to y'all new.
See, that's why we have that's why we have Daniel here. He pays attention.
My ear, but hey, I'm being protected.
I thought I was betting that Pokemon Go did not have a great impact on Pokemon Sun and Moon
Okay, so we
sales.
were betting on the same
So
thing.
we
but
were
they-
on the same page.
But you were saying that it was
That's
the
funny.
most successful mobile game of all time.
I said it was at its peak the most successful, which I was wrong. I thought it was. I guess it was not. What was above it?
Huh?
What was above it?
Angry
Oh,
Birds.
Angry Birds.
I didn't fucking check.
Oh, okay.
I didn't fucking check.
I don't know.
I just
so
saw-
wait, does this mean that I don't get a taco?
I never made a bet with you.
You got egg rolls today. Shut up.
I mean, if Fred gives you 1,000 schmeckles for a taco, maybe.
He got fucking
I'll
egg
give
rolls
you
today.
100
He
I
got
did.
no taco.
I did get an egg roll, and I'm still excited for that. I just thought I was gonna get a taco out of Skyler.
Daniel, you get 100 schmeckles from me.
Okay.
That sounds dirty.
Yeah.
Like really dirty. Okay, so Destiny.
So, the new supers we finally gotten to look at, and I guess I should actually say the old supers we got to look at how they're new.
They are
Like
basically...
Striker and Golden Gun and Nova Bomb.
Yeah, they're... As we kind of predicted, they were going to be variations on the original
Just upgraded.
supers.
Did they release the other 3 they didn't show during the gameplay?
What?
The
During the-
ones shown in the gameplay were Golden Gun. In the demos that people were playing was Golden Gun, Striker. I saw
then the new
Nova Bomb in
Warlock.
the PvP.
No, there was no Nova Bomb. They only had the Dawnblade, the new Warlock's subclass.
Oh, okay.
So we didn't see the Nova for Warlock, but we did see Striker and Golden Gun.
and
Because in
Gunslinger.
the original demo that they
They
showed
showed
live,
the bow staff for hunters and the shield for titans.
Shield for Titans.
Yeah, we didn't get to see more details on those. Instead, we were seeing the revamp of the classic ones.
Okay.
The classic
Except for
subclasses.
Warlocks.
Except for Warlocks, which
Though I could have sworn I saw footage of Nova Bomb, because the Nova Bomb thing is basically like Striker. You just now can throw more of them.
no. Well, they never showed any kind of confirmation. We did see a quick glimpse of it in one of those like couple frame long flashes. We did see a Nova Bomb like thing, so we could assume that that's going to be revamped. But I'm sure they wanted to show off. They didn't want to just show off 3 revamped subclasses. They wanted to show off a new one as well as
Right.
that they're
I mean,
revamping.
It's
That
a
would make
lot of our
sense.
complaints from Destiny 1 were answered with Destiny 2 in terms of the supers and such.
One that I thought was answered was not actually answered. The shoulder charge.
So it is and it isn't.
It's not.
There is a way to do one-hit kill shoulder charge out of your super.
Yes.
It is its own subclass where that is probably the biggest reason you choose it for.
That didn't make any sense. So to clarify what you're saying is, shoulder charge is actually there. The ability, the perk is still in the subclass and still in the striker subclass. But instead of this time around, you know, the Destiny 1, you just had a grid of abilities and you pick whichever ones, one per column, but you just pick whatever you want. Now instead, you can pick your grenade, your double jump, and then your special ability, which they detailed.
Which is a new ability. So that's that third rechargeable ability we saw.
I want to go ahead and throw this out that I'm avoiding looking at all of this stuff until the beta comes out. Because my thing with betas is that I'm very skeptical of how broken a beta can be. And I'm scared that that's how it's going to make the game.
What?
Okay, so I don't like
I understand what you're saying, but I don't understand how you're saying it.
Okay, so I don't like betas.
Yeah.
Because they show me how broken a game is. And then I go into the real game and see
All that fixed.
sometimes not.
Generally, if you find it in the beta, it gets fixed by launch, unless it's something tied to how the game plays in a general sense. Which this is playing almost exactly like Destiny 1. All the gunplay, the game, all the jumps, in fact, are the same. They've tweaked the Warlock jump, so it's actually
No!
more.
They changed the Titan one too.
They made it useful.
Well, what they've done is they've made a little bit more upward lift. Basically, they've gotten rid of... It's a glitch that you could do. I don't think any of us ever got to where we could do it. It's called skating. So for like Titans, there was a way to use your boost to basically stay on the ground, but move at like double speed in any direction.
You could skate.
Yeah, and it was really cheap, and apparently people were abusing it in PvP.
No, you mean Trials players were abusing it.
It was getting abused all over. I mean, PvE and PvP, but
I mean, that's the thing is, people would always abuse stuff like shoulder charge. One thing that I like is that shoulder charge is still in this, and while I'm still probably going to complain that it's overpowered because it's shoulder charge and I hate shoulder charge, and I'm a little bitch, so I'll complain. But it is where now, instead of being able to mix and match perks as you wish, there's 2 trees that you can go down. So it's a whole tree of basically, if you choose the shoulder charge tree, you're getting shoulder charge, and that's what your build focuses around, apparently.
well, it focuses on melee at that point. But
Right.
So, like, yeah, kind of like I was saying, it's now groups of perks. So instead of mix and matching however you want, you have to pick between 2 groups of perks, and there's 4 perks in each one. But each one is dedicated to a different play style. This I actually really like because, one, you don't have to worry about your build. Yeah, it takes away some of the customization, but I like that it's a preset thing. Like, okay, I like to play my Titan as area of effect, melee-based character. Cool, I picked this set of perks. I don't have to worry about the rest of them.
Do you think this might open up the door for a, quote, healer class?
Well,
It's
we'll
funny
get
you
into
mention
that.
that.
We'll get into that in a sec, because that actually has to do with the Warlock's ability.
And some of the possible Titan and Hunter abilities.
Well, not possible. We know the abilities.
Well, we don't know the abilities for bow staff and if they have any third subclasses.
Oh, the perks.
Yes.
Because you
Because-
can't use ability anymore. Ability is now a separate thing.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's weird.
Destiny
So
hates us.
I don't know how to... I was kind of playing around with how do you describe this, because you have your class, your Hunter, Titan, Warlock, your subclass, Golden Gun, Nova Bomb, Striker, all that. But then you have like a subclass. So I guess they're calling it a path.
Yeah, they call it path, so it's like path of wind or whatever for warlocks. is one of them.
Path of Wind.
Yes.
That's the one that makes you fly a lot and stay in the air for a long time.
What about the Path of Earth?
That's the one that makes everything fire.
Path of Fire?
It's Path of Fire, I think.
Path of Water?
So basically now the Warlocks become
Avatar.
fucking airbenders.
No.
Well, so for instance, the Warlocks, one of the trees for them is, you know, when you, the one perk, Angel of Light, I think it is, where when you zoom in, you stay in the air. If you get headshots, now you stay in the air longer. It also has where it's like you can strafe in the air, so you can actually like, control yourself a little bit more up in the air when you're doing that. So a lot of it is based around like when you're airborne, you have more ability. I'd have to see gameplay of it to really.
I want to play with that in the beta. I don't know how I feel about this.
I love the idea.
The Golden Gun,
No,
I
the
love
whole
what they've done
floaty
with.
angel fairy fuck
Oh,
thing.
well, if you don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to use it because there's a separate
It looks
path
like
you can take.
yeah,
But
it looks
have they
like honestly the benefit of it is, oh, you're in cover. I don't care. I see you.
Have they confirmed? Daniel, you died.
You got fucked up the ass with a sword.
Have they confirmed that the other 3 subclasses are coming back? Stormcaller, Hammers, Voidbow?
They haven't talked about any of those others coming. And since they're revamping the originals, I don't see those happening.
That's complete and total porcaca.
No, I love it. Those were the 3 most. We mentioned
I
it before.
loved all 3 of those supers. There's tons of people who love those 3 supers.
I could see them coming back revamped differently, like they've revamped these. Because I mean, technically, the supers we've seen are just revamped versions of what we have. The wrist shield for Titans is just a smaller bubble. The bow staff is just, instead of knives, you have a bow staff. Dawnblade is still the Rising Phoenix.
They're different enough that I wouldn't say Dawnblade looks like a super that a Warlock has right now.
But why would you introduce
it's
3 brand new
something.
supers halfway through the first game's life cycle and then get rid of them?
I think they'll come back changed.
I hope they don't come back. They were broken. They made the game horrible. All the complaints we had about, well, 90% of the complaints we had about Crucible came from those 3 subclasses.
That is true.
I'll give you that.
So I'm glad they're gone.
So what if they brought back the same 3 elements, just different styled?
I'd expect
Well, that's
that.
what they're doing. It's the same 3 elements. As far as we can tell, it's the same 3 elements. They're just going to be different versions of supers.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they had their roots in, like, one is hammer based. Maybe you don't throw hammers like a Titan, but maybe it's revolves around, maybe you have a giant hammer now.
But see, then that completely defeats the lore behind those 3
Dual mini
supers.
hammers.
Not
Not
necessarily.
necessarily. Actually, I saw a really cool explanation of why the supers are different, in that in the cutscene it shows Zavala has he does multiple Titan smashes in that one cutscene. He has had more time as a Guardian to attune himself to his light, so it only makes sense that as you become more used to your superpowers, you begin to understand how to use them better. And you begin to understand how to evolve them. Like, for instance, one of the Gunslinger's abilities is I can now finally figure out how to load more than 3 bullets in a stupid fire pistol.
Slow down. You're talking way too damn fast.
Because I'm a hunter, I gotta go fast.
Yeah, the Golden Gun.
I still want to
kinda-
play with them before.
Well, let's take this class by class.
Okay, that's fair.
So, I started with the Titan because of course I did.
He's our Titan.
But the Striker, the actual super itself, plays very similar to the classic
blast
Striker.
radius.
It's a smaller blast radius, so you still activate it with a slam, but it's a smaller blast radius, and you're now electrically charged, so you can run around and do almost like a shoulder charge and just insta kill anybody, which takes away from the super. Or you can do another slam, which takes away a larger portion of your super, and you can try and hit a group.
So you can multiple slam or do like a running shoulder charge thing.
And it looks like, and you
Come
can,
on and slam.
as long as
And
you have
welcome
enough,
to the jam.
as long as you have enough super bar, it looks like you can mix and match however you want. It looks like maybe you can get a max of 3 slams if you did nothing but slamming back to back to back,
Okay.
because it does still drain over time as well.
Kind of like Blade Dancer doing the AoE with Blade Dancer.
Yeah. Or you could just do the first slam and then just run through punching everybody, which seems to be very PvP focused. And then the
Okay.
Titans have, their ability is a wall. So we got to see it kind of in the gameplay demo they showed off, the big one they showed off. And this is where the 2 different types of perks will affect, or no, are those
No.
tied to the perks?
No, those are just abilities. And the
Those are
Titan one
separate.
is actually, I find kind of funny because it's a really simple change, but it has a huge difference in how it plays out.
Oh yeah.
It's
So-
literally just you rotate the wall 90 degrees.
No, not quite. One is a full wall, so it's the full height of your character and it's wider. The other one is just a half wall. So it's still just as wide, but it's about half the height. So you have to crouch behind it.
Is this that third, like how we had grenade, melee, and then there was another little
Yes.
perk?
And then there's abilities, is what they're calling them.
Okay.
Which that'll
Are
probably
those
change.
Are those like class specific?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
So Titans get a wall.
Titans get a wall, which makes sense. The full wall doesn't have any special abilities. It's just a big-ass wall. You can't shoot through it, but you can't get hit through it either.
Okay.
The half wall is more interesting because when you're crouched behind it... Did you know there's a cover system in Destiny?
Yes.
Not a lot of people did.
There was never really any.
Because there was no
point to
use
use
for
it.
it.
I used it in Oryx.
Well, okay, there were few moments when it was useful.
Well, this is going to make it even more useful. When you're in cover behind the wall, your ammo or your gun is automatically reloaded instantly. There's no
note.
animation, nothing. You insta reload. When you pop out, you can shoot. As soon as you pop back in, insta reload.
From what I
like that.
from what I saw of gameplay, it looks like that's for teammates too.
Yes, it applies to others as well.
That's awesome.
So you can either get just a full wall to either block off an area or just protect everybody, and then you can get a half wall, which does has a lot less protection, but you get
It's
that
got
ammo,
more perks.
which is pretty awesome.
That's interesting. And then okay, so you've got supercharged striker,
In
for
a
lack
wall.
of a better term.
Yeah.
We've got the Sentinel, which is Captain America.
Which
Yeah.
we don't know any of his abilities.
We don't know anything
We know
about
he
it.
throws a shield. That's
That's about
plenty,
it.
That's plenty for me. And then you've got the wall.
No, the wall is not a super.
No, but it's an ability.
Yeah.
That's something new they added. Okay. Dealer's choice. What's next?
Hunter.
Let's do
That
one.
was easy, wasn't
Okay,
it?
fine,
Fuck
Hunter.
you!
So the golden gun now has where, and it's all the same grenades for both, and all the same jumps. The golden gun now has where its ability is, depending on which of the paths you take, you either get 6 shots, but you have less time to fire them, so it's more rapid fire. And that one is focused very heavily around, like a lot of stuff recharges your super fast, I believe is what
It's
it
all
was.
about getting as many golden gun shots as frequently as possible.
Yes.
Okay.
Then
Are they-
the other path is all about precision, and precision shots charge everything.
What was that question real quick?
I forgot.
Okay.
But so, and that's actually the interesting thing where you started to go on to healer classes. Precision shots charge my grenades as a hunter, my melee, and my super. So it's all about charging everything really fastly.
But what do they do for me?
Chain of Woe now applies to teammates. So Chain of Woe is that thing that makes hunters just reload blindingly fast, where you'd see me just like tap my gun and I'd have a new clip.
And another important factor is they added accuracy to that. So
Yes.
as you Chain of Woe, the more woes you get, the faster you reload and the more accurate all of your guns are.
So look at it this way.
For teammates
when we're
as well.
doing DPS on a boss and we're sniping, now the hunter having Chain of Woe means that not only am I increasing my ability to hit him, but now your guns are slowly becoming more and more stable and you're able to reload faster and faster.
Okay, but that's not a team healer.
But it's a
No,
team
it's not a healer.
support.
It's just a support.
That's just a support.
No, don't worry. We'll get to warlocks.
But we could easily see something like maybe Bolt, like maybe how Hungering Blade was a thing for Blade Dancers. Maybe now that's something that like extends to teammates. Interestingly enough, the Hunter ability is the Shade Step. But the way that it's different now is you either Shade Step and reload when you Shade Step, or you Shade Step and you increase your melee. Like it resets your melee and does all that.
Interesting.
But you can't spam it because it has a cooldown. I mean, it's your
Right, it's an
extra ability, so it cools down. So basically, it's like you said, it's the roll just without the ability to spam it.
Weirdly enough, it's McCree's role from Overwatch.
It's not actually a roll. It looks like it's just more of like a boost.
It's a
sideways.
sidestep.
Yeah. What's up?
Question. So originally we had intellect, discipline, and strength. Intellect was for your super. Strength and discipline were for your melee and grenade. Are they adding a 4th tier to this, or are they tying
No.
in the ability with your intellect?
So
I
they've
haven't
gotten
seen
rid of
that
those
yet.
3 entirely.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I
They're
hadn't seen
completely
anything.
gone.
Okay.
Instead, now each of your armor pieces adds to. I forgot what the 3 were. I meant to take notes on it. There's 3 things. It's your Is it still intellect and all that?
I want to say I think I still saw it there, but I hadn't seen much on it. I know they talked. I know I saw at least one of the streamers I was watching said there wasn't really a way to min-max your stuff.
Yeah, min-maxing is not really a thing anymore, at least according to this new setup.
So no tier 13 builds.
But you've got your 3 things that are all powered up by the armor. So each armor has different rate. What are the 3 different fucking ratings? It's like agility, agility, recovery, and the other one.
The other one. That's actually what it's called. The other one.
The ones that were tied to your subclasses before is your agility, your recovery.
Oh, okay.
And
I know what. Your stamina. No.
Might have been stamina.
Fuck.
No, it's something
no,
like
it was it was agility.
Armor.
Armor, that's what it was. It was armor, agility, and recovery.
Those 3 are now tied to your armor. So the armor pieces you have
Okay.
will have different stats in each of those categories.
Okay.
So that's kind of... It's not really min-maxing, it's more just that's how you
You
can
say that
maximize
no way to
those.
min-max. There's people who are going to find out how
I
to
mean,
min-max.
there's always
But those
a way
have
to
less
min-max.
impact than the others where it increased it decreased how long it took for things to recharge. This
So,
time it's just your general
So
agility
everything's
stuff.
pretty much just going to recharge at a stagnant rate?
Fairly, except for the specific perks that your subclass is using.
Okay.
So it's going to be tied more to the subclass instead of just what gear you have.
So if your subclass says you charge your super in half the time, something like that, that'll be tied to your subclass?
well, like if you have a perk that increases recharge rates,
Okay.
then there you go.
Right,
Otherwise,
so
it
it's gonna
charges pretty
be-
much the same time.
Okay.
It's going to be less of like, this week, this is good armor. Now it's just, this is good armor. It's
Yeah.
kind of the way that I'm reading it. It's getting rid of this like, oh, you missed the week when Wormwood was good? Well, screw you. You're going to get killed by it all the time now.
Yeah, I actually love that change. I know it kind of takes it away from people who like to do the min-max. I know you like to do that stuff.
I
but
got to the point in the game where it's like, I have nothing else to do. What can I do now? Here's something I can try and do. And I did it.
yeah,
it
now the
actually-
armor, you don't need to worry about it.
It actually fits in very nicely with what they've continually kept saying during the demonstration of easy to enter, hard to master.
Right.
Which, that aspect I like, is one thing that really keeps me from wanting to do anything seriously competitive with Destiny is I just don't want to min-max. I want to use the armor I like. I like the way my character looks, and yeah, it's... Some may say it's shallow and I'm just being stupid, but I like my armor. I like the way my guy looks. I want to wear that armor.
See, that was what I got lucky with my Warlock. I liked the way he looked with my min-max armor. I got lucky. I did. I hated my Hunter, and I hated the way my Titan looked.
That's why it's very difficult for Titans because we don't
Very
have very
weird
many
armor.
armor pieces that work. So when I had a set that looked good, I didn't want to change it.
Right, and then Hunters have where if it doesn't match your cape, there's no reason.
Yeah, so hopefully that all changes too with this new system.
Yep.
So we knocked out Hunter, Titan. Those are the only ones that mattered, right?
Yeah.
Bitch ass! You guys dog on...
Because we're not warlocks.
Fuck. You people.
So, Warlock, we got to see the Dawn Blade, which you got to see in the gameplay demo.
Which I'm not, now that I keep looking at it and seeing it, I'm not as thrilled as the rest of the world.
It's pretty awesome. It looks pretty good.
Cool.
It's pretty cool, but I mean, I'm flying with a sword.
It doesn't work like a normal sword like we thought.
Okay.
You can't swing it like a normal sword.
All I ever saw was him just do like the
The slash. That's
Yeah, you
all
throw
you can
laser
do with
beams.
this. You can't actually attack with the sword.
You also, which they don't really cover this very well, you have like actual
You're dead again.
flight. Like you can just go up. There's nothing like it's not a jump or anything. It's just when you're airborne, you get to fly. You're
with my
you're
super
free.
active or just in general.
No, super
well,
active.
Looks like there's
Okay.
a path that makes it where you can kind of fly a little bit when your super's not active.
I was about
but
to say, 'cause
not as much.
Even when I didn't have my super active in the first one, I could still fly. With
This one though
my
is like
Warlock.
true. You just go up and you stay in the air. Like there's no gliding back
Yeah,
down.
I've seen,
It's just
I've
you-
seen it used.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's the big
that's
thing.
the big thing.
You
And
got that
they
new
didn't,
one.
They didn't really show anything for Void Bomb or Nova Bomb.
No, we didn't see any other subclasses, so we only saw one subclass per character in action.
Which this is because those were the ones that were playable in the demo they had on floor.
Yeah.
So they did, but they didn't. So they didn't have Void Bomb playable.
No,
That's
I could have
bullshit.
sworn I saw it in PvP.
it
But
wasn't playable.
okay.
God damn it.
That's bullshit. That we get to see the Sentinel and the Bow Staff, and then play the other two, but we only get to see and play the Dawnbreaker.
Well, we
Well-
saw the Void Bomb. That's why we know
Yeah.
it exists.
I mean, to be fair, they had a solar. Well, no, they had two solar. Yeah, never mind. They should have had Void Bomb.
yeah.
Well, I'm glad that they showed a new one instead of just revamped old ones.
I
hear
mean,
ya.
really, truly, the only thing I can see them doing for Void Bomb is instead of throwing it with one hand, they throw it with 2 hands.
I don't know.
I can see them doing
they've
a
gotten
couple
pretty
things with
creative
void
with
Or
it.
they go havoc with it and just shoot it out of your chest. That would be kind of cool.
I doubt the animation will be very different. It's more how
Everyone
it
said
works.
that it was insane to have someone with a cannon for a chest.
What were
So-
Wally's ability?
The ability is called a rift, which we kind of saw in the gameplay demo. You drop kind of this area of effect thing for you and your allies, which can either serve as kind of a backup Titan bubble. Where
Okay.
you stand, or no, not as a Titan bubble.
It
you
doesn't
stand in
block
it and you can
attacks.
deal bonus damage.
So
Okay.
basically, for lack of a better term, it either gives you weapons of light or blessings of light. So
Not
you
really.
You are now the new Titan. It either heals you or it empowers your shots.
From what I'm hearing, not really. So
Yeah, hold on. Fucking fireball over there.
Okay.
So it does bonus damage, and I think they said it increases rate of fire and reload speed, if I remember right. And that applies to everybody. It also heals. It's not like the Titan bubble before where you just get an extra shield or you can take extra damage. You flat out heal at the same rate as normal recovery.
And
Really?
you will gain an overshield if you're at full health. They did say that.
Oh, I didn't actually see that. Oh, well, that's cool news. But this
they've
fully heals, and it heals anybody in it.
so they've basically now made the Warlock a healer class.
Well, it's not
Thank
so much.
God.
It's not so much that you can use it while like under fire. You'll still have an advantage, but you are better off using it to like recuperate and get back into a fight. When taking direct damage, you can still take damage faster than you heal.
Yeah, you don't have a shield or anything.
Steve is healer.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Why are you trying to take this away from me?
I was just trying to say you can't place this down in the whelp cave and stay in the whelp cave.
I'm not saying I can do that, but Steve is healer.
Okay.
That's fine. But you're not going to be safe in your bubble or in your rift.
I don't care if I'm safe. If I'm hiding behind a wall, I can drop this and heal. I'm healing.
Right.
Yes.
The point I'm trying to focus on is that it's not like a Titan bubble
Sure,
because you can still take damage. You're not protected in any way.
that's fine.
But I do still see it serving a similar role in raids going into it, especially because it has a much faster recharge than a super.
Sure,
Absolutely see this being, in between damage phases, you can heal up.
a
Or
much
something.
needed perk.
Or like
I could even
every
see this being
fucking
a
Titan,
thing of,
it's now your weapons bubble.
Maybe it's
minus
now
the
your
bubble.
weapons bubble. I could actually even see this being a thing. Like, imagine in Vossix how people start to get overwhelmed. I could easily see if we had this now, drop it in the center, and it's like, oh, the captains are coming. Oh, you start taking damage? Back up.
It's not very big though, and I don't
No,
know how.
I do remember seeing it. It's maybe half the size.
I think you could easily fit
Of a
3
Titan
people
bubble?
in it, though.
I think you could fit 3. I don't think you could fit much more than that though.
That's why I don't think it'd be like a rally point, but I could easily see it being like a drop it and then go in if you're in trouble.
Yeah. And it doesn't last crazy long.
No,
It's
that's
not like it lasts super long time. But it recharges quickly, so you can use it a little more frequently.
Do your perks from your subclasses affect your ability at all?
Not that we saw.
Okay.
Don't. Yeah, actually, I don't think I saw any that did.
The ability itself just has the 2 different types of the ability you can choose from. And you can swap those anytime,
Okay.
similar to what you could do with your super before.
Sure.
Right. The only things that are locked are your paths, and that's like a group of 4 perks that are you pick
Well,
one or the other.
they're not locked as in you can't ever use the other one.
It's you pick one or the other.
You pick one or the other, and it's not like you can mix and match perks. You pick one or you use
The other tree.
A or B.
Right. Like I want to say for warlocks, it was Path of Wind, which focused around keeping you in the air longer, or
And
Path of Fire, which did tick damage more.
I think
that
it
what it
added
was?
some of the tick damage, and I think that was more focused on melee damage,
It might have
getting
been.
your melee back, stuff like that.
I'd be curious to see what Voidwalker comes out to be.
I'm just really glad that they're finally focusing on making these different classes unique.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, in Destiny 1, you could basically play any class you want, any way you want, but now, if you want to do something, you got to be the right class. Every class has its role.
It's roll now.
Well,
Which
I don't
does
even know
suck
that
for
you
me.
have to be the right class because we still haven't seen the perks of the other ones. I like that there's now, you can definitely, instead of having to go in and like dig through your perks to find the one that works, you can definitely look at it and say, for what I want to do, I want this path and this stuff.
Right.
It's not so much like,
I saw
oh,
that
make
data.
sure you have make sure you have black hole on, and you're gonna want shadow step and poison. It's like you don't want. It's no longer this long convoluted thing of, oh, did you have maximum range on your golden gun? I'm speaking as a hunter because that's what I
Yeah,
am.
no, now it's more, are you spec to be this type of hunter?
Right. Are you 6-shot or are you 3-shot?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a 3-shot?
So it's rapid fire. So for hunters,
Yeah, but
for
I
golden
three-shot
gun, it's
often,
rapid
baby.
fire versus precision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially. Which sucks because a lot of those perks are very much tied to sniping. Well, precision, which
Precision, but I mean,
sniping
that's-
could be,
Golden gun has always been a precision class.
which Titans don't have anything like that. So it would make more sense, especially now that Chain of Woe applies to multiple people, for the hunter to be the sniper, not necessarily the Titan.
I feel like you could still have a mix in there because, once again, we also haven't seen the other subclasses for the Titan. It could just be that Striker is not the subclass for the way you like to play normally.
That's true. I mean, we don't know the others. I got a feeling because they're focusing on making each class very role specific, making a Titan feel more like a tank, making a hunter feel more like the quick, agile, sniper-esque role.
I can see it. I feel like it's still flexible enough. I don't see the roles defined so heavily yet.
It seems pretty defined with what they've shown. Now, it's more of what they haven't shown that hopefully won't... Well, I say hopefully. I want it to be more defined. I'm okay that I'm not the sniper. I'm still going to out-snipe you.
I could still see ways that, like with that wall, for a sniper, being able to drop your cover wherever you want and just have, this is now my sniper roost.
We saw how that worked in the Division.
I thought it worked pretty well in the Division.
You were right next to me the entire time.
I'm also a heavy, like, ranged player, though.
Well, I say you hate sniping. You don't hate sniping, you just don't do it often.
I did decent in the Division.
You're okay.
I'm a mid to long range player. No, that's not fair. I'm a close to mid range player.
I'm Steve.
I
Steve.
thought
Healer.
the Division was like
I'm
only
the healer.
half as good as multiplication.
He's always got to pull that joke. You don't know how many times I've heard that joke.
I'm the healer.
Daniel,
Yeah.
you're still funny to me.
So,
I'm just excited. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Nova Bomb. I'd love to see them bring back variations of the other 3 subclasses that Fred hates.
Why?
Why am I only confined to Fire and Void? Why
I
don't
think
I
they'll
get an
bring
arc
the other
ability?
element back.
Oh, I
just
didn't
don't know
say
if
they
they'll
only had
necessarily
2.
bring back.
That's what I'm saying. I want to see the other 3 abilities come back in a different variation.
Other 3 elements.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want those supers.
No, but I want to see them come back. I want to have the option between Arc, Solar, and Void.
Okay, this whole time I thought you were saying you want those 3 specific supers back in some way.
I
No.
kind of was
No.
along the same lines as Fred.
I
This is
absolutely
where
don't
it's
want
weird because
that.
they have so many. They've taken up all the names.
No, it's pretty easy. There's elements, abilities, supers, classes, subclasses, and perks. Everything has a name.
I want variations for the Arc, Void,
yeah, they're
and
going to probably
Solar
have all
abilities that Titans, Warlocks. I want variations on those abilities to come back because I like having the variety of all 3 at my disposal. You know, I don't want to have to pick between Void and Solar because that's just bullshit.
Here, I doubt that's going to be the case. And here's why I know it's not going to be the case. We got 3 planets to go to. There's one person, one main quest giver at each one, which means we're going to have 1 power per planet that we're going to go pick up. I guarantee it.
Do you think that's how they're going to do it?
I think it's going to be that simple, which I'm okay with. Well, kind of okay with. It's kind of boring, but as long as the areas we're running through are interesting, it should be fine.
Now riddle me this: what
Batman.
if? Thank you. What if we are able to get our supers off the bat, but maybe you unlock more ability with them as you go to each planet? I mean, we don't know. This is pure speculation at this point, but
I don't think so. Just because
Watch out
they've
for the
mentioned
brutes.
having to.
Watch out for the brutes.
Oh, I thought you said birds. I'm like, the fuck?
I don't feel like in a game that's as much about being able to choose where you want to go, like, because there's some people who will just go straight into the Crucible. I feel like they would not lock you into having certain supers based on
Wait.
story progress.
You mean like the first game?
Yeah. No, the first game, there was only the new supers were locked to story.
Well, no, you had to level up your subclass.
Yeah, you had to
Yeah,
get
you had to
to
level it up, but you didn't have to get so far in the story to choose a super.
Yeah, you had to get to.
Oh,
a certain,
I see what you're
You had to
saying.
get to a certain physical level before you could unlock the other super.
I could
Yeah, you
still
did. You had
see
to get to level
that.
15.
It was level based.
You had
I
to
could
get to
still
level
see
15
that.
to get your second perk, or your second subclass. So you had to almost get to max level. It was level 15. I
was level
remember
15.
distinctly.
I could have swore that I had my second subclass much sooner.
No, it's
only-
level
Are you sure it
15.
wasn't level 5?
No,
it
it's
was
level 15.
It was 15, but if you had already unlocked the second subclass on one character, your next character didn't have to do that.
Maybe that's what maybe that's why I don't remember it, because that would have been like a day one thing for me. That I would never would have seen again. I don't know. I feel like they would make it more locked to level than they would locked to story progression, because that's the thing, is some people are just, they're never going to do the story.
I don't think so with Destiny, because a lot of its content revolves around that campaign.
Maybe
It's not like Call of Duty where you can just ignore the campaign entirely and just play multiplayer and be perfectly fine. You were fucked. Oh my god, Jesus.
Thank God we have that on camera.
You was Octodad right there. I'll tell you what.
Jesus, you were more fucked than I realized.
Do you need a smoke after that fucking Daniel?
I just might.
Yeah, I'm with Fred on this one. I mean, Destiny has never been a game where people jump straight into and only play PvP. I mean,
Well,
even
you had
all
to be
of-
level 10 to unlock PvP.
Even all of the big major PvP players, Triple Wreck, Crafty, all of them who focus and only ever do Trials and Crucible and Iron Banner, they've even played through and completed 100% of the story.
Well, there are also streamers who spend so much of their time playing this game that they're bound to get through that stuff at some point.
But my point being is that they focus on Crucible. That is their. That's what they do.
But I mean, I wouldn't say that they're a representative of the average Destiny player.
Okay, find one streamer that is a representative of your average.
That's what I
Destiny
mean. I don't know
player.
that a streamer would be.
There's not.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think a streamer is, because they spend so much time in this game.
The only two I can think of that are average Destiny players would be Gathalion and Broman.
But it's still a matter of time. I mean, they've put so many hours into the game. Many more than us.
Sure.
I'm talking
Absolutely.
like the guy who
That-
loads up Destiny, and the first time he plays, he somehow spends 10 hours but never figures out how to get off the tower.
You son of a bitch. I was listening.
Did you really, Daniel? It's just there's no words for you, Daniel. There's just not.
He played 10 hours on Xbox and probably 2 more on PlayStation.
Yeah.
What's bad is you played 10 hours on Xbox, which means you had to have figured out how to get off the tower, right?
I did. Yeah, I got off the tower on Xbox. I couldn't figure out how to do it on PlayStation.
You push the big black square.
I'm not used to that being an option.
Just click options.
But yeah, just because streamers are able to put so much time and dedicate so much of their time to Destiny, they do absolutely everything. So it's hard to compare them to the average person who'd put, 5 hours a week maybe.
Right. Remember that
Into
only
it.
50% of the player base has beat a raid.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think is it that high?
that's what
According
they said in
to
their...
according to their live press, it said 50% of Destiny players have played and beaten a raid. Played
Oh,
a
okay.
raid. The other 50% had not.
Because I
And
thought
that's
I
raid.
haven't.
I think the achievement for I guess that's a specific raid. For beating specific raids is actually
Yeah,
pretty
beating
low.
all of them,
but-
I'm sure, is much lower.
Well, and beating specific ones, it would probably vary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Destiny 2 looks like Kotaku actually had a great article describing the changes in Destiny 2 as Bungie listening and doing it their way.
Yeah, I liked that the strike they showed off.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is that a compliment or a backhanded compliment?
Probably
Bungie
both.
listening and then doing it their way sounds
Well, the
like it could
article
be negative.
the article painted it as a positive. As
Okay.
in Bungie could have just as easily thrown LFG. Just taken LFG as it is and just thrown it into the game and said, "All right, fine. This is what you want. Here it is." Looking for group, if you didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't know if you knew.
No.
Cool. But instead they said, wait, let's not just do that. Let's bring clans in and let's do this guided gaming service. So we have a little bit more curation going on than just a standard LFG. So they took the idea, gave people what they wanted, but decided to do it in their way instead of just, here, fuck it, you can have it, take it. And they've been doing that all along with Destiny. I mean, all
Right.
their perk changes and weapon changes and everything is, hey, we're trying to listen, but we don't want to just eliminate this out of, we don't want to just make shotguns worthless. We want to try and figure out how to balance it.
And so in the process, we make them worthless.
How did you die?
We make them worthless.
I don't know.
The best thing in the world, and then worthless, and then this one shotgun is now the best thing in the world.
Yeah, it's a ride is the best way to describe it. It's an evolving game. I did like to see in the strike, the biggest complaint with Destiny 1 strikes is every last goddamn strike is fight up to a door, fight 3 waves at the door opens. Fight up to the next door, press a button, fight some waves, door opens, boss. I mean, that was almost every strike.
That was, especially in year 1, but they got a little more varied as they went through.
They got a little more creative, but in the end, a lot of it was still go to the door, fight at the door, go to the next door.
Yeah.
I mean, even I'd say like Darkblade, which is one of my favorite strikes, that's all it is. It's
That's
2
a lot of
doors,
that, yeah.
and then it's a cool boss fight. I liked seeing in the Inverted Spire, there was like platforming mixed into it. There was a lot of unique fights in the middle there. There was that whole section with the drill.
Yeah, that was
You
really
chose
interesting.
Poorly.
And so
I don't remember doing this. I don't remember what I'm supposed to do.
Exactly. You're supposed to glitch a Banshee into this room and just fuck that guy up.
You
But
wait till his shield is down and then you kill him. Best way to do it is with anything that you can dual wield.
I think shotguns also do a lot of damage.
They can, I believe so. But
I mean,
like
it's a shotgun in Halo 2.
Wasn't his shield
Yeah.
down when I was looking at him?
Yeah.
It's
His
currently
shield is
up.
up right
Run
now.
away! You're gonna die.
You gotta wait for Johnson to shoot him, or Keys or someone
Yeah,
hits him.
Johnson's gonna shoot him, take down his shield.
Basically, just keep an eye on him. When you see the glowy stuff disappear, go fuck him up. There you go.
There you go.
Now fuck them up.
It only lasts a couple seconds, so
That's why Needler's
quicker.
probably the best.
You also get allies throughout the entire fight. Now we're just talking about Halo 2. Back to Destiny 2. But yeah, it's nice to see them changing the formula.
I hope it's as big a shakeup to Destiny as Halo 2 was to Halo.
I'd be okay with that. Still the same game, but new enough that I like it.
Very, very different, made the changes in all the right places, but still felt like the game you know and love. Except Daniel right now does not love Halo 2.
No! The biggest thing that I'm looking forward to is from everything we've seen, the maps are much bigger, much more explorable. And that's what I really want, is I love exploring open worlds.
Absolutely. Having these massive environments, and especially the Vex stuff, which is just ripe for climbing on.
Yeah, well, Bungie just makes great environments. I mean, I'll be honest, even Mars, which is just a big old dust planet, was fun to explore.
Yeah. I am very, very excited to see what they do with this. I mean, we've still only gotten a little glimpse at what they're planning for
That's
Destiny
actually,
2, so...
I guess something to leave off on. A lot of people I see keep complaining that it looks like they haven't added enough to Destiny 2.
Jesus. Alright, maybe try and stay at a distance.
But one thing we got to remember is they did this press release ahead of E3 for a reason. I can almost guarantee you, we have not seen all the new stuff.
We're gonna see some stuff at E3. We're gonna see. I think we're gonna get a release date for the beta at E3.
Oh, I bet it'll launch. I would predict it launches during E3.
Yeah, I would predict they do
Just like,
you can play it now kind
And
of
then we
moment.
all get our emails with our beta codes.
No, then the servers are down for the next 24 hours as everyone clambers to get on.
Yep.
See, that's the other reason I'm very curious about the beta is, am I even going to be able to fucking play it?
It'll
I
probably be
imagine.
rough for when it first opens.
I don't know that it will be, just because they've already had these servers they've been working on for 3 years. They know how many people are excited for this.
True,
I
but
bet they're going to be all right.
The first time you flip the switch, there's always something. Always one problem somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, remember there was also that cyber attack when Rise of Iron had happened that locked everybody out for a while?
No. I never had that.
Well, Rise of Iron was weird because when
Right.
it launched, you couldn't get in, but by the time that most people were awake, at least in the U.S., you could.
Oh, that's right, because it was like, for
Right.
us, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so
it
right
didn't-
at launch when the game first, like when the servers went live with Rise of Iron.
For the first couple hours.
Yeah, you could not. Nobody could get in because there was some weird cyber attack where somebody basically logged in like 2 million times.
The DDoS attack.
Yeah, and it backlogged everything. So I'm hoping that won't be a case. There you go. Now you're figuring it out.
I doubt it'll be a big issue.
I hope not, because that's one of the reasons I'm glad we waited to do Rise of Iron until, look, you won. We waited to do Rise of Iron until like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. You died!
What the fuck did you do? You teabagged yourself to death.
And it,
No!
yes! Retribution for the teabag!
God damn it! What the hell?
That made it. That right there.
Fred, I think we need to have gameplay from now on in the podcast.
That was fantastic.
So, I'm debating now if I want to end it there or end it with you actually finishing this.
That was there. Just finish it there.
It's done, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
there.
We'll just end it. You know, Destiny 2, gonna be awesome. Beta, shut up, Steve. It's gonna be great. Just enjoy it. Quit fucking bitching, like every 6-year-old on the internet. It's
I'll
gonna
quit
be
bitching
awesome.
if you people quit picking on my warlocks.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. You can start picking on Titans if you want. That's
I'll
fine.
stop picking on warlocks when they're useful.
Bitch, we are useful now.
Now
I mean,
we're in year how
we're
many?
still in year 1.
4,
Or we're still in
2,
game 1. You won't be useful till
3.
Destiny 2.
3 years to make a warlock useful. Awesome.
Fuck you all in the asshole.
Titans were useful. Oh, day 1.
No.
Day 2. I had to build up my because it was the second subclass. I had to get that second subclass built up.
Titans were useful like month 2 when Vault of Glass came out.
We were absolutely useful way before that. I know. I was
Vault
playing
of
one.
Glass actually came out the Friday after the game was released.
No, it was a while after the game released.
Bitch, all right. I gotta.
You're thinking of Taken King.
I have to prove this to you again. Jesus Christ.
No, Taken King was like a week after.
Taken King was the Friday after the game.
Jacob King.
Yeah, Jacob King. Taken King was the Friday after. Crota was the Friday after. Axis was the Friday after, and Vault of Glass was the Friday after.
Bullshit.
Do it! God damn it!
You want to make a wager
All
on
I had
this
to do
when
was-
Vault of Glass came out?
Yeah, you just had to not die.
I don't understand how I died.
You must have teabagged right on the hammer and busted something open.
Dies in the cutscene, probably.
I don't even know what y'all are talking about. I was just hoping Daniel would die.
Okay, so it first became available on September 16th, 2014.
Which would have been about a week after. It launched on September 9th. I know, because my dog was born that day.
Suck it, bitch.
Came out a week after, not the Friday.
Oh, shut up. Now you're arguing semantics.
Now you're arguing semantics.
Uh-uh.
I was closer than you were.
And we're out.